Salutations. Welcome to the Cars, Bars, and Guitars podcast, episode 75. I'm AJ.
I'm Steve.
Steve, who are we brought to you today by?
A flat tire and a 3-inch flat spot in a wheel. Fuck you, Albemarle Road. And the next day, it was already patched.
Are you kidding me?
It trashed the wheel, so I spent all last weekend hunting down pieces and parts because the car came without a usable spare, without a jack shy of the one that you got me, so luckily I picked that up over the weekend.
Yes, I saw that.
Had to pick up a 4A wrench, only discovered that the local Harbor Freights are out of stock of the electric torque wrenches for $27, so the next nearest is an Albemarle, so that could be a while.
Yeah, well, Steve, guess who decided to be our first three-peat? Mr.
Bryan Leighton.
Hey,
Hello. Not to be confused with my address. It's spelled differently.
It is. It's so funny that he lives on Leighton Place.
Oh, nice.
With a Y instead of a GH, much like he has the correct spelling of Stephen.
Stephen.
Yep, not.
Oh, you're a PH? Oh, Steven's my middle name with a V.
Oh, well then both
Hey,
equally.
well, greetings from one Steve to another.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to come back for a three-peat?
It's Saturday and in quarantine, so
What else?
what else is there to do?
Yeah.
No offense, of course. I love it.
It could have been yesterday, but I had a slight case of death then.
Well, you look good for being dead.
Thanks.
Well, Steve, what are we drinking today that I've lovingly...
The more higher intensity type thing is Fire and Cane by Glenfiddich.
Yes, Fiddick.
Fiddick.
Yep. It's ridiculous.
If I do this, I'm going to wind up in a Glenfiddich. The whiskey experiment that will divide you. Smoky Glenfiddich. Finished in sweet rum casks. Will you get more campfire smokiness or toffee sweetness? Oh my.
It's delicious.
Weighing in at Richard Petty, ABV. This is the Experimental Series 04.
Mm-hmm.
High five, mic stand.
You like it?
I like that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like I'd have to be in the mood for it. That couldn't be like an everyday whiskey.
Yeah, but from a Pete perspective, it's actually very approachable.
Yeah, absolutely. It's. What do you think, Steve? Yeah,
That's kind of a perfect send-off to this entirely too long weekend. 56 hours. So that's 2 additional days in overtime pay.
yes, but
That also
at what tax cost?
The last tax differentials seem to be going from 21% out to 23% out. So
okay. That's
whatever.
It's not terrible.
My tax bracket's still pretty low.
You're weekly, aren't you?
Yeah, bi-weekly.
Okay, and you're weekly?
Bi-weekly.
Okay, we're all bi-weekly.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, when Kay was working,
Kaylin
she
had been weekly working with the construction company in HR.
yeah.
And then since she's on unemployment, it is whenever the hell they decide to send the money.
Yikes. Oh, I'm sure they're fucking backed up to.
It's properly fucked.
Now, could Paige get the PPP or?
No, she did not. So
Oh,
with her being sole owner, she only runs a payroll strictly for tax reasons. So her payroll looks like essentially nothing. So, I mean, I don't know. As the employer, she would have gotten potentially punished
okay.
as well. So I think all in, the most she could have got was like $2,000. So I was like, well,
You're working, so
whatever. Yeah.
yeah.
Like, I didn't want to mess up any taxes or any kind of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure that would be hard to key in at the the first of next year when we're all doing that.
So that's why he's got the Super instead of an 8 Series.
That's right. I went for the cheaper version.
Did you guys?
I go with the 840 instead of the 850 just for something that could pretend to keep running.
Did you guys see the new BRZ or the new 86? It looks. They made it look a lot more like the Supra.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, of course
actually.
you do.
Yeah.
I think it looks better.
Yeah. They rounded the hood. I wish they had a little bit more bump and power, but I get it. That's just kind of the way that car is. That's the point of that car.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I've got a coworker that's looking to trade out his 18 Hemi Challenger probably for a 16 STI.
Really? Those aren't.
I was like,
That's going to be a very different experience.
Yes, it is. Well, apparently the Challenger's been getting in a lot of trouble with, like, how much of that was self-inflicted, though?
Yeah, just dogging it.
'Cause
Yeah,
otherwise, he's been dailing a 94 GMC Sierra with Cadillac taillights.
Oof.
It looks better than it sounds.
Okay.
Like 50s Cadillac taillights.
Also, any modern car, if you're not dogging the shit out of it, it should be. If it's not a even if it is a performance car, well, an FCA car. Never mind. I really don't know what I'm trying to say. I was like, if it's a modernish car and it's not a performance car and you're not dogging the shit out of it, it's probably going to be okay if it's under warranty. But
what's a warranty?
I've never had a car with a warranty. You keep buying yours new. So.
Of course, yeah. Especially first model year with the BMW motor. I was like, I'm definitely getting warranty.
That's a YOLO,
with
squared.
Yeah, I was like, I'll be the guinea pig here, but I'm going to protect myself too.
Well, I mean, it's not a brand new engine though.
Correct.
So it is a tried and true BMW engine product.
Yeah.
So.
And even Toyota said,
it's good enough for them.
Exactly. It they tested it. I mean, they approved it. It fits their reliability standards. So,
and the Supra this year is in Car and Driver's 10 Best.
I saw that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was going to do that, but the rest of it was kind of boring. It was Accord.
Accord just stays there.
Ram truck was in there.
Whoa.
Yeah, the Ram truck was actually. Let's look it up.
When properly spec'd, they are quite nice. It's a rolling living room with a generous iPad as your screen in the middle.
FCA does the best interiors of the big three of the United States. Like the Jeep and the Ram and the truck, the interiors are a nicer place to be.
Which is real funny seeing a bone-ass stock vinyl-clad work truck yesterday, too. So I got to see the two extremes, only one of which had the air ride suspension that could be raised and lowered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never ridden in a car with an air ride suspension.
It worked, but it was dreadfully slow.
Oh, I could imagine.
But I would trust that more than a Land Rover's.
All right, guys, we got Chevrolet Corvette, Genesis GV80, the new SUV, which is actually really fucking cool looking.
I don't think I've seen that yet.
Yeah, it's the Genesis brand's first SUV because they came out with 3 sedans, which are dinosaurs at this point. Nobody's buying sedans.
Well, also, I feel like they all look the same, right?
They kind of did.
Yeah.
It was the Audi effect.
Yeah.
The G70 was the last Genesis available with the stick, but that's following the coupe. So it was a pretty short list, but that's being kiboshed for next year.
Honda Accord, one of my favorite new SUVs that if I had a family, absolutely, that would be in the garage, would be the Kia Telluride.
That's a good looking rig.
That's a good looking, yeah.
How much Telluride is in a GV80? Or is it a similar platform? Is it bigger? Is it smaller?
I think no, because the Telluride's the same platform as the Palisade.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's...
I've not seen the videos yet to see the ins and outs of it, or if it's something closer to a Santa Fe or...
No, it's very comparable in size. But it's supposed to be, instead of the Telluride being like a little bit sporty looking, and like the Genesis is supposed to be like your luxury SUV because it stickers at $65,000.
But that's also aping for the Lex GX or the Escalade.
Mm-hmm.
And
shit, the Escalade's $100,000 now.
Yeah. Keen on those.
No.
Have you heard Farrah talking about his dad? That's a gigantic hunk of shit.
Yeah. Mazda CX-5, naturally.
Way to go, Adam.
Porsche Cayman and Buckster. Porsche Macan, which I like.
Wait, you said Corolla's on there?
I thought it was, but it's not, actually.
Oh, okay.
Porsche Macan.
It is the 11th.
Ram 1500, Toyota Supra, and Volkswagen Golf.
That probably would include the GTI and Golfer.
It does. Actually, it says Golf and Jetta, because I guess now it's on the same platform.
They've always been on the same platform, like even going back to the late 70s. The Jetta was birthed from taking out a trunk to a Golf.
Oh. Well,
now you know why they look so much alike and always have been.
Well, that's true. Actually, I never thought about it like that. Volkswagen Group's fucking mungus anyway. Like they just own almost every. They're like Conglomerato, Rocco's Modern Life.
You could get a Golf wagon or a Jetta wagon. The Golf's already a fucking hatchback.
If I got a GTI, I think I would get a license plate that said G-Wagon.
I mean, you wouldn't be wrong.
No, wait, he's got a point.
I still have dreams about the second gen that I had. The third, not so much, but the second, that was a fun car, all the way until it's new and crashed it.
Yeah. Well, before we get into beer news, anybody got any personal news they want to share besides Steve's unfortunate demise of his tire and my unfortunate demise of my sanity at work? And
gonna be heading to Greensboro for Thanksgiving
and
to ring in my baker's 3,000th birthday.
Yes. He'll be 39 next week.
Or that makes me 8 or 9 in Thanksgiving years.
You should do it like that.
Because I was actually born on Thanksgiving Day, 81.
Fantastic.
So while the turkey was being stuffed, Steve was being unstuffed. Or no, your mom was actually being unstuffed. not you.
Pay no mind to the events of, something around Valentine's or President's Day of 1981? Yeah. Yikes.
I'm a late October baby, so I'm the same. I'm a Valentine's kid, I'm sure.
I'm an anniversary kid because my birthday's in February and my parents got married in May, so that's my theory. Almost everybody I've talked to has a February birthday. Their parents were... I was like, you too, huh?
Oh.
So, I heard a great would you rather, and this is good before we get into the news. Would you rather sit down with your parents and watch a video of your conception from the night you were born, or sit down and watch every sexual encounter you've ever had in front of them? I honestly think I would rather just watch my conception.
I don't even know if I'd want to see a video of my own.
I do, but
I think
I'm fairly narcissistic.
I think the phrasing there would be, I would go fuck myself.
No, because I don't want them to know just how weird their son really is. I would rather just watch something once.
Why are you wearing rubber gloves? Don't worry about it.
You want to finish her off?
Sounds very Kriegerish of you.
All right. Well, it was a 2-1, so I don't think there's really a right answer. There's just an answer we all gave. All right, time to do the news. Steve, Waffle House is releasing a bacon-flavored beer with Oconee Brewing Company. It's called Bacon and Kegs. I think it's some kind of brown ale, but it's like 6.5%, and I don't think they're going to serve it at the restaurant. There's already enough fights and gunshots.
Where are they going to serve it then?
Cans, I think it's in cans.
Just in cans?
I don't know.
Or to go only. Like, yeah, it's going to be a lot of parking lot drinking. If so,
yeah, bacon and kegs. I don't know where to get it, but
darn, I do have that brand new Waffle House by my house.
Ooh, oh yeah,
I haven't been there, and there's a new Arby's there too that appears to be open.
You know, I don't ever go that way, so. Actually, y'all live like a windy frisbee throw away from each other.
We've been to that Waffle House a couple times.
I feel like
now this seems like a Waffle House but new.
Yeah,
which brings me to a next point.
So go now before it turns into an actual Waffle House.
Yeah, totally.
You don't go, you end up at Waffle House.
Yeah. I've never had the waffles at Waffle House. It's only been the hash browns with whatever on it.
So here's a hack. I don't know if they'll do it for it, but there was one very, very drunken night. After a show, we went to Waffle House, and I got a waffle, and then they put the hash browns and bacon on top of the waffle, and then I put drizzled syrup all over it.
That's amazing.
I like it.
I was full for about a fortnight.
I don't see what some video game has to do with any of this.
It's a red ale, and it will be sold in 6-packs or on draft at Oconee Brewing Company beginning on 18th. So,
and where is this Bruco?
If only I had the technology. I might actually make a road trip down there because that actually sounds too good to be true. Come on, you. Yes, I'm over 21. Unfortunately. I don't. Hey, man. About Us. There we go. Probably under About Us. Well, Oconee, everything in Georgia, I would think Oconee's probably nearest to Florida because that has a very
Floridian type name.
It does. Kind of a Indian name or something like Okeechobee or Omasassa.
No, it was actually Okinnie. It's Irish.
Greensboro, Georgia.
Oh,
that's off Interstate 20. The only reason I know is because on Interstate 20 going from
Atlanta to Macon.
Atlanta to Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
There is a Greensboro, a Norwood, and then something else, and they're all towns like in North Carolina. I always laughed about it, but it's in Greensboro. Used to go to Macon. We used to go to Macon instead of going 85 to Atlanta and down 75. We'd go 77 to Interstate 20 to 129, which is the Oconee National Forest, and it's actually a really pretty drive. No, that's
now you phrase it that way. That rings a bell. Looking at a map once upon a time.
Yeah. Now I'm zooming out. Unenhance.
I mean, inputs.
How was the second one? The second Super Troopers?
Okay. I didn't like it as much.
Okay.
It's
okay.
More gags, not as memorable. But hey, there's Rob Lowe.
Ooh, how many Lowe's could Rob Lowe rob if Rob Lowe could rob Lowe's?
Hardware or grocery?
Grocery.
That's where I got these.
Greensboro it's right in between Augusta and Atlanta on the map. So it's smack fucking dab like an even 3-finger amount.
Okay.
That's not that far away. Like we could, if we left right now.
Finger this way or finger that way?
It's 3.5 hours away. That's doable.
Yeah.
Can't think of another reason to go to Georgia's Greensboro. And to be honest with you, other than the beer, I can't think of another reason to go to North Carolina. Well, you can, because you're going next week.
The family and the breweries. Yeah, haven't been since early February.
I've had one show in Greensboro at Gibbs 100. Nick, have you ever had any beer from Gibbs 100?
I feel like I recognize the name.
Mm-hmm. It's solid. There was one beer there. I think we had it at Saucer one night, and nobody could finish it. It was so fucking gross, and I don't remember what it was. I think that was night Gerald and Tyler, and so it was 48 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a little while. Moving on, Bud Light is releasing their own video game system console called the BL6 that has 16 gigs of memory and also can cool 2 beer cans. It has a lot of arcade games like Tekken and Street Fighter and shit like that on it.
I could do
Gibbs
the same.
is no longer in business, by the way.
You could do the same thing and just mount your Raspberry Pi in the beer fridge, and you've already got 32 gigs in that one. Speaking of Brian, so interested in one of those?
Somebody's texting me. I forgot to turn that off. I'm not getting up now.
Nah.
Gibbs Hunt. Yeah, they're closed.
Gibbs is closed, and I have been there because that's where I got my tattoo work done. And I think I've actually been there physically.
Oh, a couple months ago, I sent them a message, or before COVID, they're like, yeah, we don't really have the budget for music anymore. And they were right.
Well, now you know they weren't lying.
Yeah. There's a funny story behind us playing at Gibbs 100, so that's a story for another day.
Getting pig pounded.
Yeah, getting all the kinds of pounded before. By the way, don't go on a brewery crawl before a show. Breckenridge Brewing of Colorado will deliver beer during their winter months via reindeer. That's amazing. How would you like your beer delivered by reindeer?
Thanks, but I think Sprinter van works just fine.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. How, like, for real?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I guess a horse and carrot.
So then I could shoot the messenger and eat it too.
You ever had reindeer jerky?
No. But I can imagine it'd be good.
In Bryson,
I do have a new bag of teriyaki beef jerky.
I have Korean barbecue smoked pork jerky downstairs. So
that's the other flavor carried at Ollie's is the Korean pork, and it's fantastic.
What are we doing for dinner?
Got a shitload of leftovers to work on.
What are we doing for dinner?
Korean pork jerky.
I really probably should have turned that ringtone off. I hope nobody really wants to talk to me right now because I'm busy. This is important work. Like this is important work. Like we're doing here.
Yeah.
Wild Heaven Beer of Georgia. Going back to
I've had that at the Decatur Beer Festivals, and this last one since it didn't happen this year, but that was a fun time. And Wild Heaven does good stuff. Hagen's a big fan of them.
Yeah. Well. Georgia's been on my mind after the results got certified. Suck it, 45.
All right, Ray.
They are releasing they collaborated with Bullet Bourbon to release 2 beers: an Imperial Scotch Ale aged in rye barrels, and an
And
Imperial
the hell with every female working for us. What?
an Imperial Stout in bourbon barrels. That sounds delightful. I don't think I've ever had anything aged in rye barrels.
First off, Imperial Stout and bourbon barrels, great, fantastic. Everyone does that. Whatever. So I like that they're doing something a little different. Where they're doing a Scotch ale, which is going to be on the sweeter side, and then put it in rye, which is going to give it a bite. That could be fantastic.
It sounds good. Now, you said you had Wild Heaven at Decatur.
It was at the Decatur Beer Festival, yes.
So it's got to be. If it's near Greensboro, it's fucking Brew Crawl 30 in the middle of December, and I'm fucking going to Georgia. I have Wild Heaven. I haven't been to Georgia in a long time.
I would say since you went to Savannah or got the S2000.
Actually, yeah, last time when I went. No, it was after, because when I had the accident, then Emily and I went to Savannah for our anniversary. Yeah. Yep, that's 2014. It's in Atlanta. Well, that's easy.
While there, go to 3 Taverns.
3 Taverns.
3 Taverns.
Yes,
It's a single brewery brew space, but it's awesome.
I thought I had a sticker from 3
Orpheus
Taverns, but I
too.
did not.
Orpheus down there.
Orpheus.
Yeah, Orpheus is another good one.
Do you have to take a red pill or a blue pill? Oh, that's Morpheus. Oh, sorry. The jokes get no better, but they also get no worse. Safe project.
Consistent.
The jokes are.
Yeah. Buffalo Trace is releasing their OFC Vintage, a 25-year-old bourbon, $2,500.
Even at that price tag, I'll still never see it and never even get a chance to even attempt to buy one.
A standard Buffalo Trace now and wait.
For 1/100th of the price, and probably enjoy it just as much, if not more. Now, I know it's easy for us to say because in the grand scheme of things, we will never be rich, but I couldn't imagine actually going and buying something like that, something liquid, because a car, you can do a watch, sunglasses, you can use those. The liquid, you can really only use it that one time you use it, and then it's gone. And is it $2,500 good? I don't think so.
Sounds like someone's never had civet coffee.
I've had some expensive bottles, but never, ever
that many.
That much. That's a lot.
You don't have a bottle of Pappy at home, do you?
No.
Okay. I think
only because I've never seen one.
Okay,
to be honest,
Sean has one.
I probably would if I.
Well, that's a couple hundred. You can get one of the regular Pappies for I think $250, and actually that it's a lot, and I would hate myself for buying it, but I'm glad I got it, and I'd only open it for special occasions. But $2,500.
Exactly. So my most expensive bottle I have right now, and it might even be the most expensive I've ever bought myself, is a $330 bottle of Macallan Rare Cask.
How many years?
I don't know.
Because Scotch is always longer. Usually Scotch are longer aged.
Yeah, it's always a bunch of 14.
But 2,500? That's a whole different level. I mean, at that point, you're almost collector, right? You buy that, you don't open it, you wait for everyone else to open theirs, and then you can actually resell that bottle for twice the price.
Yep, pretty much.
It's become a strange game.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that patient.
If I were uber rich, though, I would buy a lot of the bottles and open and just fucking demolish all of them and just bring the price down. That would
Heck yeah, you can wreck it. That'd be great.
And drive like your Countach.
Yeah. I love wrecking secondary values like that, especially when it comes to beer.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, drive your Countach like an LM002.
I would love to have an LM002. Do you remember those?
No.
The Rambo Lambo? All right.
I probably would have saw a picture.
Lamborghini truck thing long before the Urus.
Yeah, back in the 80s.
I know exactly what you're talking
bonkers
about.
But do you remember what it looks like?
Not off the top of my head.
Why do we pay you?
An overbloated Avalanche.
I love that thing.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
And cocaine white.
Speaking of Coke White, we had a Trackhawk go through today. $62,000. Trackhawk.
Trackhawk. Oh.
Oh, is that the Jeep?
Those things
the
are
700 horsepower.
Sick.
Unbelievably fast.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you sit, because I've seen one at Cars and Coffee, when you sit and or look in it, there's nothing other than the badges that would give it away. You look inside, it's a nice
200-mile-an-hour speedometer.
If you don't look at that,
Yeah.
and the badges,
and the red start button instead of a black start
but
button.
it's leather, air conditioned. It's a nice place to be.
It
and
is.
Just hauls ass. Yeah.
It is a 5,500-pound speed monster.
It doesn't make that's
Yeah, it is the dumbest fun ever.
That's what I
And
miss.
didn't Matt Ferris say he's set the brakes on fire on his?
I think so. They I'm a member of a new group on Facebook. This doesn't apply to you, but he's not on Facebook. It's for the best.
Yeah, it's like you used to could be, right?
I unplugged from the Matrix.
Yes,
Way to
it says
go.
obscure cars for sale. And there
I'm on
was
there too.
There was
Well,
an
that makes me want to rejoin.
there was an SSR on there, and I said, I used to think these were pointless, but now I know they are. But I miss stuff like this because if you like overlay every new crossover or car, it all looks exactly the same. At least it's different, and it look. I like different. Like,
Yeah.
the Jeep squeaks and rattles, but it's fucking cool. Like it's not a fucking Hyundai Tucson, or it's not boring. I like that. I like
Wrangler from the village of Wrangler.
character. And then that's all the beer news, but 2 bits of car news. Teenage YouTube star crashes his father's $3.4 million one-off Pagani Huayra.
I saw that article. I didn't see any videos.
I knew
don't
this
know
would
if
come in
he was
handy.
like-
And how does Steven Tyler do it with all these scarves?
I didn't know if he was fucking around in it or what he was doing because it was in the middle of kind of a major California highway.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was fucking around in it.
I just cracked a Mother Earth long weekend during my short weekend.
Oh, yeah, and I had Anderson Valley Winter Solstice.
And I got a Cigar City High Low.
And I'd never seen that before. And I'm almost
Me
out
neither,
of
because
this.
the styling of it looks just like the High Lie.
They really...
Yeah.
Had you not said that, like from this angle, it's High Lie close enough.
It's 120 calorie. What I'm thinking is actually a Dale's Pale Ale.
Yeah, tell it on the air.
Story.
You told us before. Now tell it on air.
That's good.
Yeah, so
I have some for y'all too.
If you see the can, you notice it's just this nice orange, kind of a recognizable Cigar City highlight can, but it's high low. But if you look towards the top, you see this nice little red ring around the top. And I realized that the can art is actually a skin on an existing can. So when I was in vacation last time in Florida, I decided to take one off, and it's literally a Dale's Pale Ale underneath it. So I'm either a complete moron, and I'm just drinking Dale's Pale Ale, which is not a bad beer, mind you, but
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I remember hearing something about a can shortage. Never mind how
that's what I'm
easily-
hoping, is that they just had to
it's
reuse
a
the cans.
different recycling effort.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
if
actually
that
now
was the case-
saving the planet, then that's good.
Well, is it printed? Like, is the Dale's cans? Is
They've
it
got all, like,
printed
the
into the
crazy-
aluminum,
I think
or is it
so.
okay?
Like this
So it's
one-
like these.
Yeah, this one's just a label.
Right.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
this is
you
printed
can see
into
the
the can.
seam on this one.
Yeah, these are printed into the can, and it has a coded on date that I don't know how to read.
Mine is falling off the can, so can't help you.
Well, after
Mine says C half an A N OP 29.
Niner, who the fuck is texting me? I have no whatever. It's not important. I'm here. We're doing Allah's work. And last but not least, the Motor Trend car of the year is what is it?
Of the year.
I was doing a drum roll. That wasn't a Subaru
Oh, it was
noise.
the
No, it wasn't a
2022 BRZ.
No, it was not a Subaru noise. What is the Motor Trend car of the year for 2021?
I don't know, the C8.
Yeah, I'm
Nope.
gonna say C8 as well.
That was last year's, I think. German. All the way German.
The Porsche 922 or 992.
Nope, no 911. And not from Porsche. That leaves 2.
Like the M4 or something?
Nope. That leaves one.
Benz.
It's a Benz.
The Benz. AMG?
No. Well, it's a class. E-Class is the car of the year for 2021. The mid. C's base, S is top, E's mid.
And then you have the CLA that's lower than the C.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the G, the GL, GLC, the GWTF.
I would drive that.
The GWTF. Yeah.
The GWTF. The George Washington, the fuck.
There's just something about Benz that doesn't excite me. I don't know why.
All right, modern ones, no. 80s and 90s ones for me, absolutely excite me.
Like, now you're hitting like the fun, unique factor.
The V8 powered AMG ones make all the right noises.
Fair.
There is that.
But no stick?
I don't believe there's ever been an AMG stick shift, at least not stateside. And the last stick Benz sold here was a 2012 C-Class, like with the rat engine in it. It was not good.
What was the last AMG with a manual? Let's ask Reddit.
Can't tell you, but here's some porn.
There's never been one. The 190E Cosworth had a manual dogleg, though.
That was that wasn't necessarily an AMG. It was a Cosworth tuning.
Yeah.
And that was before AMG was, I guess, bought out, merged into Benz. Because the earlier AMGs were separate. They just took the cars and tuned them in their shop.
Yeah, it was a separate entity. It wasn't like AMG was not a part of Mercedes until late 90s? Is that right?
I'm thinking mid-aughts, but hey, I've been wrong before.
That's all for the news.
Yay.
So, I have 2 topics I want to do. Now, I told Brian about them before I got here. We were going to do that dogfish head thing, but none of us brought any dogfish head beers.
Yeah, totally I've done very little seeking beyond going to Costco and Lowe's Foods, and once again, the only thing they had was a Sequinch Ale.
So, I have 2 top 50 lists that are going to be one's music, one's cars. I say we've been on cars. Let's do cars. Any objections to that?
Nope.
Speak now or forever hold your peace. These are the top 50 most.
Breath.
Oh, yeah. I need another beer.
Will momentarily.
Oh, okay. You're good.
Hatch my weed smoke thing.
Brian, what are you thinking about next? One of mine, one of yours?
We can start going down the KBS rabbit hole.
Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. We'll start with the base.
Just to get a base, man. Just to get a base tan.
You better know where you start.
Yes. I don't have any glassware for it, but...
Yeah, it'd be all right.
Okay.
It's related.
It's bourbon barrel aged anyway.
And they do have, soap and water we can wash that out with later, so it's not going to stain my... It's not like a cast iron glass. You can't wash it.
No,
that would be boss.
It's not like we're drinking tomato paste out of Tupperware that's going to get
like
stained.
the old school, like pewter.
Yes. I do. I want a cast iron whiskey glass.
Do it.
Okay, time to take a sip of whiskey. Well, so we're going to
Don't use soap on it, man.
The cabin we stayed in had a really nice cast iron glass cast iron pan.
On.
Everything else in that cabin was broken. Like you'd lean on the railing and the railing would lean, and it was a nice cabin, like 5-bedroom. It was listed for sale. Want to take a guess? 5-bedroom, 4.5 bath cabin.
6 4s.
No.
$289.
$800,000.
Jeez.
I was like, look, there's 8 of us. If all of us finance $100,000, we'd still need $100,000 more to renovate because, like, the oven was locked. The oven was locked. What?
I didn't even know oven's locked.
Yeah, I didn't either. You had to reach in there with a wooden utensil and like hit the thing to get it to open. Half of the utensils were missing. The refrigerator would not stop making noise until you opened the door, and then that kind of negates having a refrigerator.
That sounds like the refrigerator in my current house among its many troubles.
There was
by the way, the furnace stopped shivering, so that's nice.
They had a pool table downstairs, but it was in between two columns, so it made playing pool. It was like playing bumper pool with the bumpers off of the table.
The bumper. It's missing the 8 ball.
Yes. Yeah. What are you cracking open?
All right, so this is bought today. This was, and I haven't been to a beer store in a while, so this might have actually been out for a while. But this is Founders KBS, which is kind of a flagship bourbon barrel stout, I guess.
From
Founders. From Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yes.
Been there a couple times. It's a wonderful, wonderful place.
I've never been.
Is that a place to go rafting, or that's a name?
I've only gone there for the beer.
With Cedar Rapids, Iowa, or Grand Rapids, Michigan, can you go rafting in these places?
I mean, there is a river that runs right through Grand Rapids, so maybe.
In Cedar Rapids, though, can you go rafting in a cedar raft?
You better.
That'd be splintery, but yeah. But this was bottled this year.
Never did
September of.
Never did see that reunion
Nice.
movie. But the lighter side of the Whole Nine Yards, or Grosse Point Blank. That's what I'm thinking of.
God, I've never seen Gross Point. Spoiler alert! I don't watch movies.
Yeah, me neither.
Steve and I still have this left.
Like, hey, I've never seen blah blah.
Yeah, I still have whiskey left. So if you want to pour yours while I, this is not a whiskey that you down quickly, but here goes.
Can't, shouldn't, whatever.
Not bad.
All the warm fizzies.
It's really good. I like it with the you can taste the rum.
Absolutely.
In that scotch, so it gives you that nice sweet finish. That's usually the scotches I like. I'm usually leaning towards sherry cask. Mm-hmm. That's usually one of my favorites. But rum, there's a Balvenie 14-year that's finished in rum. And it is beautiful.
Got that at the Costco in Charleston years ago, and it's fantastic. That was after discovering that Anthony Bourdain had done some videos for them on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
Where he's doing some cooking and getting tattooed by some ancient art style.
Oh, the tapping,
really some acupuncture tattoo.
That one, that one looks
brutal.
Bad. Have you? You probably haven't.
It's a really cool series of videos, and I would hope they're still up.
Well, you probably haven't watched it, but have you watched a tattoo thing on Netflix?
No, I didn't even know there was anything on Netflix. I think they'd really limit what you see.
There's
Get up flicks on your phones, by the way. That will tell you what's on it, what's coming, what's going.
Oh, cool. There's one, and it had the tapping looked painful. I'm like, that looks like it fucking sucks. Then they showed another one. I was like, that looks like it has the all day wristband of fucking sucks. They would take a needle.
It's called a Casio watch, and no, it doesn't.
So they take a needle, and they have a thread on it, and they dip the thread in black ink, and then they go through your skin with it and pull it. I'm like, fuck
the Air Force.
I mean, tattooing hurts enough. We don't have to figure out ways to make it hurt more.
Right, yeah. I don't appreciate it more if it hurts more.
Right, it's not a badge of honor. You're an idiot. You're a psychopath.
I'm going to get tattoo floss using cinnamon dental floss.
My skin will smell fresh forever.
Scratch and sniff tattoos.
Oh, you're on to something.
They hurt like a bitch.
You're on to something.
All right, one arm's cinnamon, one arm's mint.
I'm always on the hunt for good taglines for these episodes. Which place on your body hurt the worst to you?
Hurt the worst? My nipple.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have any on my chest, so.
Yeah. And he actually, and I appreciate why he did it. Mm-hmm. A lot of...
I would hope that's because you directed him to do that there.
Yeah. I mean, but a lot of artists, they'll just weirdly tattoo around the nipple, which just makes the nipple stick out.
Oh, yeah.
He literally tattooed into my nipple and blended it away.
Okay. I'm going to need to see that later.
Oddly enough, it was a BMW Roundel.
But it felt like he was lighting my nipple on fire.
I'm going to need to see that.
It was extreme.
I'm going to need to see that.
There's
no homo, but
Brian, show your tits.
There's a lot of nerves there.
Not on air, but I think for me, it was there.
underneath. Yeah,
right up
towards
here.
the armpit.
Yeah, right there. The elbow, actually. Elbow, fucking piece of cake.
Yeah.
Everybody said because now what
So
it
it's
did.
basically on the bone, right?
It is, and it was weird because when he was on the bone, it would like when you hit your funny bone, it would kind of send the shock waves up and down your arm, but
You
it
could
didn't
feel it
hurt.
radiate. Yeah,
But it didn't hurt. It was just kind of like your entire arm fell asleep.
Sure.
Times 2. It didn't hurt. It just was like a really weird sensation. But that right there, but what's just and I tell everybody that is like, did that hurt? I'm like, well, this is double happiness for me and my wife. That's my wife's name in marriage, and this symbolizes all the pain that marriage causes. And I get the look from Emily. So, in the interest of my entertainment, we're doing the top 50 most underappreciated cars of all time.
Vibe. What?
That I hope that's on there. By the way, other than the first one, I haven't looked at any of these. I just pulled it up. I wanted it to be a surprise for me too. Yep. So I only saw the first one because it was listed first.
What site is this so I can...
Inside Hook. So you can show Brian the pictures if it's easier for it's easier for you to turn that fucking thing around than it is.
Yes, all the way till the battery dies. So
what's it on?
it's 65%.
Oh, you're fucking good.
Yeah, it's
Depending on how old it is.
He doesn't sound confident.
Oddly enough, 5 years this month. I bought this during the in between the same job period as Birthday Gift Itself. Then it's been an excellent tablet, but it is getting tired.
Oh, Sean Smith's texting us. I just checked it. Oh, hi, bud. Hey, Sean.
Hi, Sean.
Yeah, our buddy Sean's in
Key West.
He's in Navy.
Oh, I love Key West.
Yeah. He's
I've been on that base too. It's a beautiful base.
We were going to go to Key West for our anniversary for our honeymoon, and we looked at flight packages, and it was $400 cheaper to go to Puerto Rico.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
Well, usually the preferred method to get to Key West is fly to Miami, then drive it, then going to die of boredom during the drive.
There are some fun things you can do on the way down, but it's a long drive.
Gotcha.
Like it's a day trip if you really want to. I remember we stopped at this tiny. Well, we stopped at Robbie's bait shop and fed the tarpon, which were really cool.
Oh, cool.
They're right there under the dock. You hold a fish out, and this 6-foot tarpon comes up and snatches it out of your hand.
Jesus. Have you been to Savannah lately?
I have never been to Savannah.
2.5 years ago.
We need to go.
And I let off my car is from Savannah.
That is cool.
No, never mind the doesn't appear to be flooded, just beat up a bit.
There's a cafe. There's a seafood restaurant going to Tybee Island, and I forgot the name of it.
Dude, did I show you the picture I got from the Tybee Lighthouse?
Yes.
I showed it to my cousin who lives in Charleston. He almost got seasick looking at it. I did this pano going from like this little window that's like propped open. So what I did was shoot it from the top of it. Hey, here's me, down to the ground, and then another one going from like the little opening base up through the seashore, and there's this battery right there on the coast. It was a really fun bunch of pictures.
That's awesome.
There's a picture on Reddit that reminds me of panorama. He takes a panorama.
Like, that was 2.5 years ago. Shit.
He took a panorama in a way like he was eating a hot dog, and it made his arm look really long, eating a really long hot dog.
By the way, new phone, better, more truncated but better panorama capabilities to do interesting things, like try to pan around trees, like just making things stretched a bit. You know, panorama of cat, like, all right, now she has 6 legs.
You're in the video of What You Want from the Beastie Boys at this point.
Where do you get your information from, huh?
There's a restaurant. It's a seafood place, and I think it's like some kind of crab shack, and it's not Joe's Crab Shack. It's actually like good,
a legit crab.
There used to be one of those in Charlotte, right?
Yeah,
and that seems to have been snuffed along with Dick's Last Resort.
Yeah, they have on premise cats everywhere that help keep the vermin away. Those are the nicest kitty. You'll just be sitting there eating dinner, and then kitty just walk up to you, and just look at you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're so like they're really friendly too. I mean, and I think they don't even I think the whole place is fenced off, so actually the cats actually live there.
Yeah.
And they eat good too.
Hell yeah.
None of them are super fat though. They're all just like, they're all so friendly, and they'll jump up in your lap. And they're, dude, we got to have a Savannah trip coming up when stuff's open.
That's why you guys need to go to the Keys and check out Hemingway's house. It's great.
I want to go to the Keys
with all the six-toed
the polydactyls.
cats. Yeah.
A friend of mine had one in Raleigh. That cat saw 15 years.
Damn, that's awesome.
I'm hoping. Coco was on my lap asleep yesterday. I was like, she's 10 years old. I was like, you fucking better live at least another 10 years, or I'm just gonna lose my shit.
Punk hates everybody else that's not Kaylin or me, but she loves her boxes. She is not a lap cat. I figured out the hack: move cat in box onto lap.
That's smart, actually. And then you slowly take the box away.
Or take one side of it off, and then the next side of it off.
Start cutting sides of it off.
Well, I already told you, how many knives I bought this year.
Yes.
And oddly enough, I've got yet another one on me, courtesy of Harbor Freight, to ape the one I got from Ross. That was the $4 lock and key knife. Now there's the $3 lock and key knife from Harbor Freight. What up?
That's so cool.
And this one's
a key knife.
This one's serrated.
That's awesome.
Which means I can't sharpen the damn thing. But,
not with that attitude. I only have kitchen knives, a sword, and then that butterfly knife.
I like how that escalates like so. You're like kitchen knives, sword, butterfly knife. You're like, what?
There's a sword behind the fridge.
Well, Brian, I bought an Uzi for $12.
What?
It was a 4-inch pocket knife from Bargain Hunt for $12.
That's awesome.
So I bought one for me and one for my brother. I was like, "Happy birthday, Mike! Have random ass."
Why do you have that?
Why don't you have one?
Well, honestly, that's a valid question.
I have never noticed that. They're never paid attention. And then you're my butterfly knife, sugar baby.
I love butterfly knives. So I have a funny story. So when I was a kid in middle school or high school, I used to get
numbchuck you.
I randomly got this magazine called Smoky Mountain Knife Works. And they had all kinds of everything in it.
Funny you mentioned that phrasing.
Why, you know that?
No.
You know that company?
Did you ever listen to the soundtracks from Grand Theft Auto? I think it was Vice City, where the DJ's going off about, hey, what's all these knife shops? Is this town run by ninjas? And we called the town Gatlinburg. Henceforth, Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Is that where they're from?
Oh, shit. Yeah, it might. That wouldn't surprise me.
I haven't been there in 20 years, but I can imagine that's changed.
Gatlinburg's super nice. And
have you seen the smoke shop up the hill from here? It's half smokables and half weaponry.
Yeah, that's where I get.
As you do.
There's a good...
Where, by Dunwell's?
Yeah. That smoke shop has really good cigars.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Cigars aren't my jam, but since...
Weaponry
But ninja stars are.
Yeah. That's what I call the wheels on my car that are slowly going away.
That should be
I'm
your
just like
epitaph.
start potholing to the death.
That should be your epitaph. Cigars aren't my jam, but ninja stars.
No, Dejarums.
Oh yeah, the
it's not delivery.
Clove cigarettes.
Cloves.
Yeah.
It's not delivery. It's Dejarums.
That's been
Dejarums.
nice. That's been Kaylin's alternative to more illicit products since she's job hunting, allegedly.
I need that pork jerky.
Back to Ollie's. All right.
Well,
I got the teriyaki Jackie now.
I can't text Emily.
Teriyaki Jackie?
I could send her a smoke signal. 50 most underappreciated cars, by the way.
All right, yeah, back on topic.
15 years later.
One more off topic.
Okay, what you got?
Back in the day when I could post via random thing.
I loved that.
That was via smoke signal.
Yeah, I like that one. Mine was Dreamcast. That was one of my...
I ran through the entire gamut until that site stopped working.
There used to be there was posted via, and you could post a Facebook update, and it would say posted
by
via
Super Nintendo.
Because it used to Facebook would say posted via iPhone 5 or posted via Sam's, and it would posted via toaster, posted.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun doing that 8 or 10 years ago.
Posted via large trout to give a homage to the old it was like so-and-so smacks so-and-so about with a very large trout. I think that was on ICQ.
Oh, wow.
Internet chat query.
Yeah, that
That's
had a kid I wrote a bus with that used that exclusively. Like, For a good time, do not call 559-3611. Why do I remember that?
I remember my first girlfriend's phone number, so,
8675309.
Damn it, how do you know Jenny?
Damn you, Tommy Tudone!
From Cranston?
So, the first of the 50 most underappreciated cars, and actually, makes sense, Ford Ranchero.
Nice El Camino.
You remember?
Is that an El Camino?
It's Ford's version.
It's a Ford El Camino.
That came first.
It did. It was, and it had a V8, but it was underappreciated because the El Camino kind of did it better.
Oddly enough,
so it was a poor man's El Camino. Yeah.
Oddly enough, same coworker that may be doing the Challenger to SCI swap.
Mm-hmm.
If and when he can make it to Wisconsin, his uncle has a Ranchero for him.
But stacked headlights.
Go, Harrison. Yep.
Stacked headlights are always better.
I've always liked those better than Four Eyes.
Same. Next one was the Datsun Roadster. That's a good-looking car.
The 1600s?
I don't think it says 1600 on it.
Or at least engine displacement, anyway.
We're going to...
But yeah, that's a good-looking rig.
That's a good-looking car. It's
I kind of like that.
It's a reliable MG.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I didn't realize Datsun actually made any kind of like sports coupe like that.
Besides the 280 and 240.
And that predates the Z car.
Oh, I forgot about the 240.
But you mean you meant drop top?
This predates the Z by 8 years.
You ever had a convertible?
No. My wife did for a short time. I hate them.
What'd she have?
She had like a Toyota Solara.
That I would imagine that's why you hated it.
It's a 2-door convertible that it was like driving a fucking school bus.
Which year was it?
Oh God, 90? No, it wasn't 90. Maybe 2008.
Okay, I like the look of the first gens. The second ones look like melted bars of soap. Kaylin hates
hers was like the bar. Yeah, hers was the big.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like the first gen looked good, but the second one was awful.
It really
Kaylin's
was.
ex-husband had a Solara, so
Woof.
I may not have one. Like that won't be a concern.
Yeah,
I keep trying to find a first gen Solara convertible with a stick. That has been impossible. But you could get the first gen coupe V6 with a stick shift because that was also the last of the V6 stick Camrys, concurrent with the one Colin has. Never mind, his is 4, and it's beige, so you don't know if it's dirty.
The Roadster was the first.
He's got a 94 family friend, cousin, person. He's got a 400,000-mile Mustang that hasn't seen the light of day in a while.
Second engine, third trans.
Pretty much. It's half red, half pink. It's kind of faded.
What year?
94.
Yeah, the 5.0 that had.
The original 5.0.
No,
this was
not a Fox
the
body.
first year of the round one.
Yeah, the Fox ran till 93. And then 94
Is he
was
keeping
the
it
round.
for nostalgia purposes?
He thinks he's going to fix it up, and they thought he was going to get rid of it.
But then even if you fix it up, you're still
it's-
that's what you get.
Yeah.
Which is like the worst.
Diminishing return.
It's like the worst Mustang body. Ugh. Gross.
It has an age. I think the 0304 Cobra, if I had to get a Mustang, that would be it. I would get an 0304
Is that
Cobra.
when they first started putting the angles back in and getting some sharpness?
The,
on the lights?
99.
the new edge, yeah.
99
And
was
I
the
remember,
squared-ish.
oddly enough, I remember really not liking those then. And
But now-
my attitudes have changed.
Same.
Yeah.
The 0304 Cobra, though,
Those were sick.
independent rear suspension, too.
Nice, yeah.
They weren't live axle, and they actually handled and had 390 horse, 390 torque. That's the one I told you about that I rode, and it had the Kenny Bell supercharger on it. That was like 600 horsepower. It's so bonkers on the street, and it's so fucking. It's quiet, and then you step on that fucking.
That's why everyone ends up in a ditch. It's too much power.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, you have to have skills to be able to handle that.
He had
kind of
drag
stuff.
radials on it.
Oh well, that's good. That's good,
So
yeah.
he didn't have
He
like
was prepared.
he didn't have like
that's why-
Sumitomo like. Yeah, they're wide, but they're not sticky.
And that's why I drive my Corolla like a maniac, because it's manageable.
It's a slow car fast.
Predictable. That's right.
So the Datsun had a 150 horsepower 2-liter 4-cylinder. Ralph Nader's safety inflictions raised the windshield height and removed the metal dash after 1968. I want to die like a real man.
No, no, bags. We die like real men.
Studebaker Avanti.
Which is funny that the years listed are not entirely accurate, because the Avanti brand lasted way longer, but looks better with the round headlights instead of squares.
It does. You'll be able to show Brian this a little bit easier, but the Avanti...
I'm going to pull it up on my phone.
Okay, the Avanti was also a Cadillac thing, right?
Alante. Did you ever see the movie Terminal Velocity?
Yes. I'm going to go get the
car
jerky.
They drop out of the plane.
I'm getting the jerky. Talk amongst yourselves.
That is an ugly car, by the way.
Not digging it? Well, it's funny to see something that looks like, an early version of the 86 Taurus from 1962 that you don't have a grill on it. Like, nothing shy of a Vet lacked a grill like that then.
Yeah, it's weird to see a car without a grill.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Tesla Model 3.
I didn't hate it. The Avanti. I wouldn't buy one, but I didn't hate it.
It's pretty ugly.
Yeah, but
I'd like to see it a different color too. I just hate I want one that looks like human flesh.
Yeah, that's
like that color is untenable.
That is prosthetic limb.
Yeah. That's every time we have a beige car rolling through, I make the same jokes. Like, nice limb.
I like the Studebaker. I like the Studebaker though.
Per the Waffle House discussion earlier, passing by the church on 51, they've had a sign tacked onto a short bus saying, "I found Beige Betty."
I saw that.
Duh! Look at any Waffle House.
Yeah.
Because they always have a Betty. And maybe she lives on a boxcar now.
Nice.
Did you go yet?
Still haven't been.
Go.
I like the Studebaker, though.
The Lark Daytona?
Mm-hmm.
Big fan of that one.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's a...
I like the color. Teal is always good.
It looks like a bigger version of the Datsun Roadster from that angle.
Yeah, it kind of is. That jerky is amazing, by the way. Usually we don't eat on air, but we're not crunching, so. Next up, Chevy Corvair.
My dad's first car that almost killed him.
That's a good looking car, though. I like that car.
Yeah,
rear engine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He had a 60, fell asleep with a wheel, and hit a tree and was unconscious.
Was that?
No, that was a meat grinder when it was 2. My dad had 7 fingers, by the way.
He does.
That makes stealing stuff very difficult for him.
But if you get a 2-finger discount, yeah, but he never got unemployment. Like he worked. Like he never drew like any kind of a disability. He's always worked. Like I've always had a lot of respect for that dude.
And yet with his hand, he's still a lefty.
What?
Are all 3 fingers off the same hand?
Yeah. It's his left hand
So his left hand has 2 fingers and he's still left-handed?
Basically the different lefty. Basically the muscles from thumb and middle finger with this sort of U-shaped almost nub there, but he's been a programmer for 40 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like types faster than I can. I have no excuses for how badly I've done in life.
Somebody's calling me.
That's your phone ringing?
Sorry, I can't pick up.
You might want to mute that damn thing.
Yeah, but I have it exactly where I want it.
I do like I like the Corvair. The Corvair looks good. It's got that front end of the hood, the big sweeping hood looks like a vat.
Yeah,
and the
I can dig it.
And the raking of it, the like a grill because rear engine looks very sharp nosed BMW before that styling really came into effect.
I never picked up on that. I
just did.
Turbo.
I figured
turbo engine.
That did have a capacity of that. If I recall correctly, 90 horsepower turbo. Wow. What up? And a car that weighed 1,800 pounds.
I picked that up for no reason. That was a 972 number.
Did you mute it?
I don't even know what 972 is.
I don't know where 972 is. Sorry guys, you're looking at my hand, but it's for the best. Anybody know where 972 area code is?
I'm gonna.
Watch it be Sean.
Dallas, Texas.
I know no one that lives in Dallas. Unless Mark Cuban wants to give me some of that cash he's got.
You're finally being drafted.
I actually...
Did you ever play basketball? I know I didn't.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm 5'7" and fat. I don't play basketball.
I did.
I know you did, yeah.
I played a lot, yeah. That's a regret of my life, playing for a shit coach. My coach in basketball in varsity 3 years didn't make his own varsity basketball team.
I mean...
It's not a good look.
Is that the case of if you can't teach?
You can't do... if you can't
do what I say, not what I do?
Well, he didn't start... My mother only went to one basketball game of mine, which was my senior night, and he didn't start me on senior night. And I played for him for 3 years.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. He sat me and another senior on senior night.
What a dick.
Yeah. That's the kind of guy we were dealing with. And I was the only one on the team that got any college basketball letters. Moving on.
Yeah, sorry to bring that up. Jeez,
it's all good. Dude, there's no way I could have played college somewhere. There's no way I could have been a professional basketball player. I'm way too short for that. I could dunk, though.
It's impressive.
I could, but that ship fucking set sail a long time ago. Oldsmobile Toronado, which was famously the first car ever to... Tornado.
I don't know, float on water? This thing was like a fucking yacht.
Front drive V8.
Front-wheel drive V8.
Front-wheel drive V8.
It was front-wheel drive.
Wrong transmission, wrong drivetrain, but barrel speedometer.
That thing's ugly as hell, too.
Not digging it? I've always liked those.
I like the Tornado.
No way.
Are you more a Riviera fan?
No.
Oh.
That thing just looks...
I just got done wiping my finger on this conveniently placed bandana scarf.
Look, I brought this up here to consume, so...
It almost looks like a giant Firebird. Or something like that.
I think
which is funny because those were...
the front looks like a
predates the Firebird by a year.
The front looks like a Firebird. The rear looks like a Thunderbird.
So actually, this was groundbreaking, and everyone stole the design.
I like this molding.
Definitely mullet mobile. Next up, Mercury Cougar.
I mean, just this picture. This could be any muscle car of that era. I mean, this is just a cookie cutter.
If I had my druthers, I want that for vintage muscle car. Because it looks that much cooler than a Mustang, though. Because covered headlights.
It is, but it has a vinyl roof on that one.
Yep.
I'll find mine as a convertible, thank you. So I have the structural rigidity of spaghetti. And it doesn't matter if it's cooked or not cooked. Either way, it's still brittle.
There is, on 51, there's a house. If you're going away from my house, that's on the left. It's a brick house that has 2 cars, modern cars, with vinyl rooftops.
So they had to go and get that done.
Yeah. It was the last Lincoln Town car.
By the way, fuck you, Creflo Dollar. What?
Yeah. The last town car, and then one of the last Cadillac DTSs. I was like, why? Why are we
and
doing
that
this?
can't be cheap.
No.
To take that car and go get a custom.
What's involved doing that? Like, do you have to remove the metal and then put this awful vinyl thing on it?
Or do they just throw
it's
it
covered.
on?
It's covered on top. It's just like the metal rooftop with vinyl on top of it. Yeah. I like to think the whole thing's made of vinyl. Vinyl is the structural integrity.
Where the hell are you going to find a record player that can play the vinyl top on this awful atrocity you've done to your car?
It only plays ZZ Top.
I'm going to eliminate it.
I can't believe the C3 Corvette's on here. I don't think that's underappreciated.
You know what? I saw that and I said this shouldn't even be on the list.
Well, no, it's gorgeous. That's the best looking Corvette.
Also, the first 5 years, powertrain's awesome. The next 10, dog shit motors.
Look, if I had to have a toy that I would get that body with a set of modern Z06 wheels from the C5, the staggered ones, 18s back, 17.
And
a modern LS7.
Yes.
Good refinish. I keep the interior the same and everything, but put new leathers and everything. Do a resto mod on a C3. That is such a pretty fucking car.
You've seen Rush Hour, right?
It's a long time ago.
Chris Tucker's Stingray.
Oh, yeah.
An early Stingray is sexy as hell. Mm-hmm. Years ago, I was with Jason at South Park Mall. We bumped into a guy that had...
Garmin?
Seaman.
Oh, Seaman.
Bumped into a guy that had a mid-70s vet that had it since new.
Nice.
had 400,000 miles on it. He said he turned every last screw and bolt in that car. It was great and pretty decent shape. He drove it there himself.
Mm-hmm. I would rather
But it
have.
was fascinating to see, something that on that high mileage.
You know what I think is more underappreciated than the C3? C4.
Totally.
The ZR1.
Because that was also another
And that might be on the list, too.
15-year run.
I'll
take mine as an 83, thanks.
Do you remember do you know the
skipped
specs?
that year.
I need some of that. So next up is the...
So that's the KBS, but this is the espresso version. This one was
Wait,
bottled.
it's not espresso?
I hate when people say
Screw
it.
you.
Espresso,
Well,
please?
the trim line for the Plymouth Neon, by
I
the way,
know.
with espresso.
Neon was a good car.
Now, this one I've had. This is actually, it's a 2020
I don't think you
release,
want
but it was
one.
actually bottled in November of 19. So
Oh, cool.
we're actually close to a year old. On that.
1 year old.
Actually, we are a year
Is
old.
this automotive,
What day is it?
automotive aging? It's the 21st.
That's right.
5 more days is 38. Ain't it special? 38's been a difficult age for me, mostly this year.
34's been challenging for me too. Brian, you're 36?
No. I turned 39 on October 27th.
Oh, so you're older than Steve.
I just
By a
turned 20.
month.
Yeah.
I think we just got that last time. By the way, happy birthday, plus a few.
Thank you.
Or
I
Cohen
like
should
the
have said
lines.
that 2 weeks ago.
I like the lines of the C4. At the time, I mean, it's a product of its time. The interior's kind of plasticky and blah blah blah.
Well,
but
the styling aping at 328 didn't hurt.
I really like the C4 a lot. I like the C4
particularly
better
like
than the 5 and the 6. I like the 7 better, but I like the C4.
The 7 took a while for me to get the hang of, but yes.
In person, it looks great. The C8 I like in person. I don't
what
like
about the
pictures.
interior?
C4?
Yeah.
I like the seats.
The dashboard out of an S10 pickup.
Not that one.
It's
no.
very angular
No,
early
after
on.
90. After 90.
Okay.
So if I could
Yeah,
get a 93.
the early ones are easy to pick on.
By the way, the
ZR1, oddly enough, the Mercury Marine motor.
Yeah, did you know, like, Mercury Marine, like, it was a boat manufacturer that made the engine in the C4 ZR1.
I did not know that.
Yeah. It's a dual overhead cam V8. It's not pushrod.
I'm going to put a Mercury Marauder engine in mine instead.
But
4.6 liters of fury, man.
these are not like plebeian numbers either. So the C4, to get off topic. So, but there you go. C4 ZR1.
Yep.
Just a refresher.
Yep. Just classic.
I
I find that body style very boring, but
I like the cleanliness. I like, you know me.
Yeah.
Y'all both know me. Let me find the specs because like it's 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. Top speed was 185.
In what year?
Pardon?
1995.
That's fast.
405 horsepower. Dual overhead cam V8. It was the fastest car in the world at the time. To 0 to 60.
Oh, it was like the McLaren F1 came out in what, 91?
Yeah. But
Fastest accelerating is no slouch.
yeah, I don't know. I remember what the quarter mile was. Let's see here.
I think my current 0 to 60 is hindered because I have to hit third gear to get to 60 now. I think second only goes like 57. I'll see how badly I can wreck that with bigger tires on it.
I had that. I used to take my Evo to the track all the time, and you always got to where you could either shift right at the end to get over the line, or you just ride it out at red line. And
Yeah.
we actually found it was faster to ride it out.
Yeah, because
But man, you
because
hated
then
to do it. That
you're
thing-
still under power
Yeah.
instead of
that thing's screaming though. When
that
you,
moment of dropping it. So like you're going to lose some velocity
Yeah.
between gear changes.
yeah,
12.8 at 114.
that's fast for production. Absolutely, right
for,
off the line. Yeah.
for that, yeah. I mean, cars are doing. I mean, but the thing is too. Like, I think you and I had this discussion. Riding in an 11-second car on the street will blow your fucking mind. Like, you don't realize how fast that fucking is.
Right.
Like, if you think your Miata's fast, it's fun. It's a great car. your Miata's not fast. My S2000 wasn't fast.
Yeah, those are doing like 13 and 14 second.
Yeah, like the
passes.
S2K did a 13.9 bone stock, and that's with a great driver launching it perfectly,
and that's
and
also
not breaking anything.
something being driven in a more spirited fashion than Dad's old Camry,
but
which is now pushing 280,000 miles.
Jesus,
it's an 06.
So we went from
he bought it brand new back in 06.
Jesus,
like,
awesome.
all right, it's gone through 4 sets of tires and 2 water pumps. That's been about it.
That's impressive.
We go from the C3 to the Volkswagen Thing.
Oh, yeah. Still want one.
It's slow, unreliable, dangerous, and uncomfortable, but it's charming.
I think that's true. I don't, but underappreciated. I don't know.
Bites bug. Yeah. Price one.
It's kind of a cult following.
Yeah, it's not minibus expensive, but
they're getting
one
up there,
in good shape.
It's 5 figures now, isn't it?
Is it really? They're up to.
It's over 10 grand.
Yeah, it's
for something where the doors are that thin,
right?
Like, but you know what? That would be a great car if you lived at the beach.
Oh my God, I would love one. Yeah,
just cruise.
Throw
up
all your shit in it. And
for what's worth, get one.
Living at the beach, like just cruising the boulevard.
Well, if it's going to be beachside, reskin it in aluminum, because otherwise. Old and German is going to be, rust. Yeah, like see any old Toyota pickup at the beach.
The DeLorean Thing.
No, that would be stainless steel. Then you have a very heavy car. Then you have the same problem the DeLorean runs into, that it can't get out of its own way.
But there's an aluminum can shortage, and we won't have anything to fix the body panels.
What you do is melt down broken Audis that are made of aluminum. I'm looking at you, A8s of all of them.
Carbon fiber thing.
Yes.
It's all straight.
Yeah, that'd be kind of perfect. Oddly enough, carbon fiber. What do you get your carbon fiber from?
The earth?
Via what means?
Fracking?
Not quite. Maybe strip mining for coal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever gets her through college.
Hey, chicken fell in hard times, therefore chicken strips.
Yes.
I told Ian that. He lost it.
How do you say his last name? Zeshachek?
Wrong Ian.
Oh, Colin. Ian McBride.
Boxcar Ian.
We need to. Brian and I need to go to Boxcar Betty's, because
yes.
I don't think he's been, and I definitely haven't been.
By the way, my cousin owns a restaurant that opened a franchise, in Optimus Hall, Optimus
Prime.
Optimus Prime over by Noda. This 20 little restaurants and shops, and this old mill turned basically giant food court.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, Chick-fil-A. This is going to be a delicious chicken sandwich without the fascism.
Is it? What was the name of the place?
Boxcar Betty's.
Ooh.
I never figured out the origin of the name, so I'm thinking, like, do they have a favorite vagrant?
Could be.
Because that sounds about it.
Yeah. I have been to Optimus Hall. It's a cool place.
It is a cool spot there.
I went once before everything shut down.
I've been
to be honest,
twice during opening weekend, during the everything back in July, and haven't been back since. Whoops.
Next up, Mercury Marauder, but from the 60s and 70s. That looks
gigantic thing.
Disgusting. I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
That's a sweet Cadillac with some covered up headlights, y'all.
Definitely.
That is concurrent with the Thunderbird of the era. Just massive thing.
I'm so happy.
The hell?
I have not heard of this next one.
429.
19 feet. That thing's 19 feet long.
It's 2-door.
Yeah, 2-door, 19-foot long 2-door.
That's amazing.
Like the luxury coupe.
Oh, I hate it.
What
so much.
in the hell? This next thing, though,
I don't even know what it is, and I love it.
It is if you crashed a Geo Tracker into the back of a Geo Metro.
Or if the thing and a tracker had a baby or something.
Yeah.
Why does the name of this sound like some sort of Nazi war criminal?
I was going to say, it sounds like it's the noise I made after puking in the mountains last week. I've never heard of this.
I haven't either.
That's an odd duck.
and a long list of cars and super minis. None of these cars are even on the radar of collectors outside of South America.
South America, I wouldn't have expected that either.
Well, particularly Brazil if it's made of Volkswagen parts, because Volkswagen of Brazil makes totally different things. And that's also where Fords look like Chevys, Chevys look like Fords.
Oh, it does say it's Brazil-based.
Brazil has some very strange import laws, therefore lots of cars are built there that are their own thing. See also the Volkswagen SP2, which is beautiful.
You also have a lot of birds on the front of your house. There's a lot of porch of geese.
I see what you did. I like it. I like it.
What about a lot of shaved cats? Waxed even.
But I like that. I really do. I want a gull-wing convertible, and don't hate me. Next up, Chevrolet Monte Carlo.
How hard would it be to make the Jeep gull-wing?
Reverse gull-wing. Make the hinges from the bottom.
They have old school airplane doors.
Airplane doors.
I like either idea.
With a staircase, you just come down out of the car.
That's gonna be a minute to keep clean, actually.
No, you know we could
Best worst idea.
We could do the McLaren doors and hinge them from the windshield, but the windshield folds. Suicide doors.
Whenever. Also, yes.
Oh, suicide doors on the Wrangler.
Suicide doors
cool.
on a Wrangler sounds kind of easy.
Wait, we'll just like move the doors to each. No, that's not gonna work.
No, it's gonna take a little bit more effort, but it sounds fairly simple versus anything else.
Anybody have a 3D printer we can borrow? You know what? Get a 3D printer and print yourself a 3D printer, and then return the 3D printer.
Genius.
I spent so much time in 2D printing, I don't want to bother.
Fair. Monte Carlo looks more like a Chevelle with the nuts cut off of it.
This is just another. Hey, we need to make a muscle car too, so let's do this.
Fluffy thing.
I'm not.
Which is funny because the other day there was a 77 Chevelle and a Eurovan and a G-Wagon on the same car hauler, and a couple of much more plebeian options. Like, it was really strange seeing that convergence on it.
See, I'm not a muscle car guy, and Brian, no, you're not. But Steve, you're probably in the same camp I am.
Yeah, that.
I like my Mopar ones.
It is interesting, but not my thing. Like, I had this pesky notion for handling. Pay no attention to the pre-runner.
I like the Mopar muscle cars. I feel like the Challenger and the Charger look different enough that. But when I see a Chevelle or a Camaro, like, I have to go, okay, that's that. But when you see the Challenger, you're like, that's a Challenger. But if I saw that Monte Carlo, I would go, okay, is that a? Oh, it's a Monte Carlo. Like, I would have to think about it.
Yeah, and you talk about current cars now. If you laid one over the other,
exactly,
that's what this was.
That's why I love 80s and 90s cars. They all fucking look different. Like,
right.
Every one of them look different.
Yeah, this has the giant hood with the fast back. Just, I don't know if I asked someone to draw a muscle car, like this is what it would be.
Yeah. But the next one, the Alfa Romeo Montreal, that's cool looking.
That is
that's
the
cool
coolest thing. Like, have you seen them in person?
No.
How big is this car?
Tiny?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it looks tiny.
It almost looks like a Ferrari with an Alfa Romeo front end. I didn't know they still had that same front end triangle for that long.
Yeah,
that's the BMW.
That's their design cue.
Yeah. Those are really pretty.
Yeah.
You know what? If you looked at if you blocked out the wheels and just looked at the windshield and the top, it kind of looks like a Porsche 914.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. I can totally see that. And luckily, the whole thing looks way better.
Emily's dad had a 914 when he was in his 20s.
Holy shit, Ken. The guy I bought the VR 666 from had a 914. And his daily that he picked up to replace the GTI was a dark gray 02 Turbo S Beetle that he had to go to Rhode Island to pick up.
Oh, Jesus.
Because the dark gray was only 10% of the colors. Otherwise, it was going to be red, white, or silver.
Well,
it's 30-30, 30-30-30, and 10.
What was the 9? Were they rust prone? Because Rhode Island.
The 914 he already had, but the Beetle, the Turbo S, he had to go to Rhode Island to pick that up new.
Okay.
And then I bought the VR6 from him and loved to hate it.
Gotcha. I like that Alfa Romeo. Bet you couldn't find one any kind of cheap.
Well, they're currently saying in the article here, it's I don't know if an $80,000 classic can really count as underappreciated, but this thing had a bull logo on it. There'd be posters of it in every old garage. Mm-hmm. I went to see the band of Montreal a couple years ago, which is the most fabulously weird band ever. And for my Faith-Based tribute, I posted a picture of nothing but Alpha Montreals. Only 3 people understood what's going on here. Otherwise, it's just weird little old car with DeLorean wheels. We had an Alpina B7 roll through the other day.
What? At Carvana?
Yeah.
Who the fuck?
This was a poor example of it.
Oh.
It was a 2012. Either that or someone had only done the body kit on it, and the wheels was like, this is bizarre.
How bizarre? I'm sorry, Steve. He hates that fucking song. That guy's dead though, and Steve actually laughed when I told him that.
You know, I really don't like that song either.
I might have had a very
How bizarre.
How bizarre.
Cruising down the freeway in the hot sun.
Yeah, Kalen thought I was being very cruel by laughing at his death. Whoops.
Well, look, you got to be cruel to be kind.
And I feel very kind. Next up, the younger version of your truck.
Yes!
What the fire truck?
I'm so glad that's on here.
That's amazing.
I'm so glad it's on here. All right, Brian, this is what I learned to drive on.
That thing's giant.
Oh, God damn it. I didn't want to see the YouTube video. I just want to see the... All right, so basically, even with the rust, this is exactly... Except this is rust a little... This is lowered, and this is... We had the chrome bumper on it, but that's what I learned how to drive on.
That's awesome. I love that.
It was lowered. Ours wasn't lowered.
In the greenish teal?
It was... Ours was baby blue, but it was faded. It was original paint, so... That had...
Lead.
That had so... yeah, basically.
Don't sand it.
It was...
Ever.
Yeah, it was single cab truck, short bed, regular bed, 5,200 pounds.
Jeez.
318...
It's made out of steel.
318 V8. You should have seen the hinges.
Is that how lead paint works? It makes stuff really heavy, too?
Maybe?
Super heavy paint.
Meanwhile, that imaginary T100 4-cylinder I'm looking at would be... low 3s. Because mid-90s Japanese.
It was a 318 V8, 3 on the column. Awesome. I learned to drive on this.
I've never driven anything. I've never driven a manual that wasn't what we know now as a standard manual.
Yeah,
so
it's
on the
4 on the
column
floor,
or
never mind
tree
the 6 on the floor.
It's
Yeah,
exactly
on the floor.
like reverse was top left, and then to go to first, you would just pull straight down.
Mm-hmm. Is that a dog leg?
Yeah, dog leg. So
whoa,
straight down. First was straight down. So reverse was up here. So first was second gear. Instead of you would take it and then do that. So it was the same.
Push forward and then up.
Yeah,
But
forward
all the
up
way on the
up.
column. That's so crazy.
Yep, second and then down for third. It wouldn't go It wouldn't go over 60 unless you were going downhill and it was windy.
It sounds about like the Tin Can 87 truck.
But it had so much character. It was so cool. Had an 8-track player. That car, that actually, out of all the cars I've ever owned, that one got me the most thumbs up.
Yeah, that's a special thing to see. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen one.
All right, next up, you have to get another one, but it has to be a Plymouth branded one or a Mercury branded F-Series.
Before we go on to the next one, my dad bought it in 1990 for $800 in 1990, and it ran until 2005.
Oh my God. It's like the best investment ever.
It really
incredible.
was. And the timing kept jumping on, and it was like, we did a compression check. Before we parked it, did a compression check on it. 5 out of the 8 cylinders had 60. So it kept going. But
it was wounded.
it was so rusty. It was so rusty.
How many other 3?
It was so the frame was so you would take a curve, and if you we'd hit a pothole, and you could see, because there was no carpet anymore, you could see the where the body bolted on the chassis, it would flex a little bit if you hit a
That sounds like my uncle's 70s F series that holes rusted in the floor, so you can see the road going by in it.
Oh yeah. Next up, Fiat X19,
which he replaced with a 94 F-150, then replaced it with a Ridgeline.
Because he wanted a truck that worked all the time.
Funny thing, all the cars in that side of the family were Hondas for a hot minute.
Yeah. Next, Fiat X19.
That's a good-looking wedge.
I was gonna say it's very first-gen MR2-y.
Yeah, it is.
Long before that was a thing.
Very. What year was? 72 to 82. Wow.
And the first Mr. 2 was 85.
Were those mid-engine?
Yes. I saw one of those at CNC way back whenever in really good shape.
It's a baby Urraco, Lamborghini Urraco. I can kind of see that.
It's gonna need more of a angular bit out the back, but I can see it.
Next up, Cadillac Seville. All right, unpopular opinion. I actually like that. I bet you...
That's not the Bustleback one, though, is it?
I hate that one.
That was atrocious, but this pictured example is a handsome, restrained car.
Mm-hmm.
And the 90s Sevilles leading into the STS were good-looking cars. Never mind the malfeasance of the North Star.
You know why I like those old Cadillacs? Because it didn't pretend to be anything else other than sitting in your living room on a sofa. It rode like a boat, but the seats were so... My grandmother had, I think, a 78 DeVille, or it was an old brown with a yellow interior.
That you had the Cadillac Brom and the Fleetwood or whatever have you.
It was so comfortable.
That said, never mind. If I share a name with Fleetwood Mac, don't want a Fleetwood.
No, I'm out of beer.
I'd rather have a Roadmaster.
Steve Nicks driving a Fleetwood? That'd be fantastic.
It would be.
I will take mine with an LS and 6-speed swap. Thanks.
There he goes again.
All right, that's going to be it.
He goes again. He wants his freedom.
It's going to be... that would be the one white car I have, and it would be the White Winged Dove.
Sing a song. Sounds like he's singing, yeah. Well, Brian and I are white car enthusiasts, so...
Definitely.
Steve likes his red.
I think red's been the most prevalent color out of everything I've had with a Volvo, 2 Tacomas, and the Scianara.
I have never owned a red car.
Me either.
In the 10 that I've had, I've never owned a red.
Let's all do that. So,
it's gonna be easier thinking out loud. Gray, red, blue, black, white, green, red, blue, red.
4 reds.
Wow.
You're next. We're going anti-clockwise.
All right, let me... So...
And by proxy, white with the 87. But that was never my daily, except when I broke a car, then broke another car.
I did. I started with black, then went white, orange, which was my RSX.
Yeah, that's a good color.
Yeah, that was great.
I almost got hit by an RSX
Then
today.
I went blue with my Evo. Then I went white with an STI briefly.
Like, wait a minute, you got Subaru color on an Evo.
It was Evo blue. It was different blue. It was great. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Then I went gray. Then back to white.
Which one was gray?
I had a Legacy.
Oh, the Legacy was gray. Okay.
And now that I think about it, I did have a red car because I went from my white WRX to that red Lexus IS 200.
Oh.
That was the one I had for like 3 months before I got the RCF, which was also red. So I've actually had two red cars.
Yeah, that's how memorable these were.
Yeah.
That said,
he liked the
to find a
RCF.
gray
The RCF was
bandana.
great, yeah.
I need to find a gray bandana, then I could have the whole palette I'm wearing right now. I think surely one of the trucks is more of a marooner shade, whatever.
Yeah, maroon's
close
red.
enough.
Yeah, it was maroony.
Yeah.
And then from the RCF to the Forester, that was a jump. That was a black Forester, and then now the white Supra. So what, three of mine white, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first story on was purple, although the color was Durban maroon, but that maroon actually was brighter, and as it got older, it got darker.
Oh, wow.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
So it was like maroon.
Funny because more time that passed on the Vibe, it didn't go from bluer but to grayer because the paint was chipping off.
So the story
It
on
had
were
a
purple.
generous amount of paint fuckery on that thing. That might have been my favorite car.
It's purple and white.
And no, I didn't want another one.
Then the Dodge D100 was blue. The Astra van was white. The Accord was beige, as was the Maxima.
I think I met you when you had the Max.
The Maxima was fun. The Civic was
when it
silver.
ran.
Yeah, well, the Civic was after the Accord, but I did the Maxima and the Accord because they were both beige. So if we go in order, it's purple, white, and then baby blue for the Dodge D100, the white Astra van, the beige Accord, the silver Civic, the beige Maxima, the white TSX, the silver S2000, the blue Jeep Cherokee, and the white Wrangler. So I've had white. This is my fourth white car. I've had 4 white and 2 silver. I've wrecked every silver Honda I've ever owned. I will never own another silver Honda.
There's just something about when a white car is clean. It is just so clean. Just so clean.
Yep. When the black car's clean, it's super clean, and then 40
but then it lasts for like
later,
a day.
It's completely
Same
filthy.
goes for white one though. It's effort. But that said, my red car keeps turning orangey pink, so I got that going for me.
Well, my white Wrangler is half black.
Well, that's true, yeah.
So technically,
I have a Panda.
you have a gray Wrangler.
No. Well, the good part about half of it being black is I can put the Maguire's or Mother's, back to black stuff on it, which is $10 a bottle. Whereas paint is more expensive.
I've got a bottle of Forever Black I picked up years ago that I thought I was going to black out the gray pieces on the Vibe.
When you open it, it just plays James Brown.
Actually, it just plays Amy Winehouse.
Oh, she's forever dead.
Also, yes. So is James Brown. So was a pink cruelly kind. But anyway, should this thing resurface and it's still as functional as yours?
Okay. Well, we got Chevy Vega next, and
when they're good, but they rust out a bunch. Like they can't all be Kazis.
twin cam 4-cylinder, and had electronic fuel injection in the 70s.
Yeah. Well, specifically the Vega. The Cosworth, all right, yeah, the Kazi Vega, yeah, the standard Vega, forget it. You could hear them rust looking at them.
You got the Scirocco after that.
Ooh,
we're gonna have to fly through these a little bit faster because we got another topic to go.
For the first, yeah, I really like the first gens with the 4 roundies.
I like the Scirocco a lot. It
reminds me of a rabbit almost, like an elongated rabbit.
It was the elongated, shortened one.
An elongated rabbit.
This is a 9-inch rabbit.
Sounds like either a sex
maneuver.
maneuver.
Are you calling it a hare?
Yes.
Are we continuing the KBS, or you want to?
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah. What do you got next?
Yeah.
Yeah. The chocolate one.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god! We're doing that next, and then we're gonna do the maple, the better half. The Scirocco's a great looking car. Yeah, those were all 4 bangers.
Yeah.
All right, so this
it wasn't until the Corrado replaced it that you could have the six-cylinder option in 92, and I almost bought one of those, but it had the Biff Tannen trick ignition, so if I can't start this car, I should not buy this car.
That's fair.
My neighbor from whom I might have bought it was fixing to replace it with something more modest, an early Protege 5, crashed it within a season of owning it, so went back to driving the Corrado.
Well, what are we having next, Mr. Bryan?
So this is the third KBS we're going to have tonight. This is another variant. I picked this up literally today. First time I've seen this beer. This is a maple Mackinac fudge. It's Imperial Stout with Mackinac fudge coffee, maple syrup, and chocolate aged in oak bourbon barrels. So knowing founders, this is going to be
good.
Fantastic.
If you're going to suck my dick on air, this will be the way to do it.
That's it. If the founders knows how to barrel age a beer.
Yes, they do. What?
The hole in the bottle's too small.
Very. Well, it's hard, yes, but you might could stuff it in there soft.
Oh, my God.
That's darker than my sense of humor. The light doesn't even come through it at all. That's perfect.
I think it's 10W30, yeah.
That's great.
I hope you like chocolate, boys.
The new, or the ACR takes like 15W70.
Pardon?
Track car. That's the best KBS I've ever had.
That's easily their best variant.
That's the best. Emily would love that. Emily! Emmy, come here! We got a beer for you to try! Come here!
What?
Hey, you need to try this beer! All right. Next up. After the Scirocco, the RX-7.
Now,
that's the first gen, though.
Okay, fair.
78.85.
It could be a menace to keep running, but the sheer simplicity, if you can keep it maintained.
I don't like the way they look.
I like the
P-brake?
second and third better.
Yeah, second and third gen RX-7s. Where do you stand on Rex's, Mr. Leighton?
He's being distracted.
No, I mean my grandfather used to have one.
What year?
I don't recall.
Gray
it was either this one or the one after. Did the one after look anything like this?
It was a fluffier version of it.
There you go.
If it looked like a 944,
yeah,
it would have been it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he had one. I was fine with it. You know, I thought it was pretty cool at the time. I was young, obviously, but
Garvin had second gen, and back prior to Kalen, I was talking with a girl who had one as a project car.
Which one?
Aren't they all project cars?
Yeah, they kind of are.
I was wondering which girl. Yeah, it was a girl that, oddly enough, wound up back in Florida that said that she had an RX-7 convertible, which was only a second generation one.
Right, that was the only generation you could get with a convertible.
She kept bouncing back and forth working for NASA, so with great hesitance, she wound up moving back to Florida.
I personally just have never had any interest in a rotary motor.
Same.
It just, I don't fucking understand it. It makes, I understand how a regular motor works.
Yeah. It's noisy and inefficient.
Yeah, and I know they
breaks
break down
a
all the
lot.
time. Right.
Yeah, so
I've known people with them, and they seem to be, you're either all in, or it's a pain in the ass, and they end up getting out of them. At some point.
had two Volkswagens. That's what drove me to Toyota. So
we have a friend who's a rotary apologist, Mr. Mark Konechny.
They're very passionate about rotaries.
Well, which is funny because he's never had one, right?
He's never had one.
Really?
He's got a late model
13
Mustang GT.
13 GT.
Okay, so not very late. GT track project car that last I knew hadn't moved in a year. And he picked up an 04 Civic Si hatchback as his daily. So at least he's got entertaining cars, but to be such a fan of the thing that you don't have, what you want to do, bud?
Yeah, are you really a fan if you're not going to live that rotary life and
The FD is one of the prettiest cars ever built.
Yes.
Has one of the. If the rotary engine was a good engine, they would still be making. It would have.
I agree.
The piston engine
works.
There's a reason, right? There's a reason. I
mean, even when it works badly, it works.
If your engine is designed by nature to burn oil, it's not a good engine. See also the 5.4 out of the Expedition in the manual. So my buddy Josh Hagler was a Mustang guy. His parents had an Expedition, and it was Ford spec for it to burn through a quart of oil every oil change. What?
That doesn't seem right to me.
I got used to that in an old car, but that's when it was beyond a quarter mil. It's like these things happen.
Yeah.
The check engine light Pearl stayed on 3 months into owning that car.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all right. Once it couldn't pass inspection, all right, it's time.
Next up, we have.
I liked it, but wasn't going to buy a lesser 05 for $4,000 when I could find a 16 for $8,000.
No,
that was comically cheap. Meanwhile, Carvana has one for $14,000.
Jesus.
All right, darn, it's not scratched and didn't. It has $40,000 on it instead of $60,000. But it's like, I'm gonna stick to what I got, needing tires and all.
I have guilty pleasure is next. I love Saab 900s.
I agree.
Get a convertible. All right, guys, we need to split a convertible to get the Jerry Seinfeld effect from the show.
Exactly. Jerry loves Saab 900 turbos. That's what he drove.
In the show, yes. And in reality, he's a huge Porsche nut.
Well, yes.
Because billionaire. But,
of course.
Yeah.
When you have unlimited money, of course you're a Porsche nut.
He also picked up a pair of 944s lately.
Did he?
Needless to say, between a turbo and a 9, which one do you like better? And it wasn't the expensive Miata. Because if you want the performance of Miata with 6 times the repair costs, we got the thing for you.
Which is unfortunate because I love the body style of like from the 90 to 93 911s. That's my favorite 911, but they're so fucking expensive now. Mm-hmm. And air-cooled horsepower is expensive horsepower.
The 944 was a front engine.
Oh, I know.
Water cooled.
My Starion got very frequently. Yeah. Do you remember what the Starions looked like?
It's been a while since I've seen one yet.
Hell, it might actually be on the list, but let's see here.
Yeah, it might be. See. But just going back to Saab, I was talking about points for uniqueness. I mean, you start the motherfucker from the center console.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why? That's just always. Do you know why they put the keyhole there?
I always heard it was just because it was an aviation company that decided to make cars, and that's just how they designed it. I have no idea.
In the case of an accident, your keys will not impale you.
Well, that's probably a good idea. Yeah. That's yeah. I never thought of that.
No, like very few, short of the new keyless ignitions and everything.
That was a Starion.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. When you're still putting keys in your ignition, typically you stick it in next to the steering column and go.
Yeah.
But now with push button ignitions, that's a moot point.
Right.
But I'd heard that part of the logic of that was in the case of an accident, your keys are less likely to stab you in the case of a wreck.
Which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I don't want to be stabbed by keys.
No, best 99 Turbo was probably my favorite Saab. That was a pretty one.
Harrison's girlfriend has one.
No way.
Yeah. It's a shame he's a total slacker, but
and I knew a guy in Florida. He did a complete STI swap on a Saab.
Jesus Christ!
So it sounded, obviously a Saab body.
It's not a Volkswagen Vanagon.
No, and he threw an STI boxer motor in it.
Or the Becker Porsche 550?
Ted Danson?
No.
Wrong Becker?
No, Doc. No, but the James Dean killer.
Oh, yeah. The Speedster.
Yeah. That with an STI swap.
Oh.
Or STI drivetrain because kit car
right.
is a popular thing. No, thanks, guy at previous job that had some sort of kit car magazine. Then a steady supply of road and car and track and drivers.
Next up, AMC Eagle.
I mean,
Jennifer!
I couldn't even get past that picture because it's literally a brown turd with wood paneling. Like, if
funny
you
because
give me another color there.
Marty McFly's girlfriend's dad in the first movie drove one. Like that is the quintessential Jennifer.
You would know that.
Yeah, this car just shouts that there
That
with
is just an ugly car. I don't
basically the prototype for the drivetrain in the Jeep. Yes, the Cherokee.
In the Cherokee, yes.
Yeah, the current one, no.
I don't know. Next up, Samurai. I like the Samurai.
But that's
Big
also
fan, yeah.
why Subaru's marketing was bullshit. Because the AMC Eagle was the world's first sport utility wagon.
Mm-hmm.
Just sport utility wasn't in the jargon until the 90s.
Right. And you're a Samurai fan, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I would never, ever wish to flip any other car than this.
You couldn't do it as easily either.
Yeah. Yeah. Grew up reading a lot of Consumer Reports.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, if they hated something, they really hated something. And this, particularly for its tendency to flip over, if you looked at it funny, was up there.
Well, look at there.
Mechanically, they're solid because Japanese, like, it's funny seeing that. I've heard that they originated in the 70s, actually. It's a very simple design.
Right.
But till 98? How what the huh?
Good. Next up, Starion and Conquest.
There you are.
Hey!
That's a flat body. But look at that. 188 horse and 234 pound-feet of torque.
That's a lot of power, and do they offer non-turbo variants?
No.
I just love how the design just screams 80s. Like, you look at that, it's just
that
like,
is
Wait till you see if you saw the
quintessential
interior.
wedge.
like, could you be any more 80s in that car?
All right, so 188, 234. Okay,
I
that
could
was
have totally seen that as a time machine from Back to the Future as well, by the way.
Yeah.
that was the engine horsepower, not wheel horsepower. I had mine dynoed, okay, with only a downpipe, full exhaust, $300 on that car. So downpipe and exhaust, intake, boost controller up to 19 psi with a Super 16G turbo. At the wheels, it was 248 horsepower and 330 torque.
What?
At the wheels, it's less than 1,000.
So where do these numbers come from?
The exhaust on the car at its so it was marketed as a luxury sports coupe. It had heated mirrors in the 80s.
Holy cow.
No airbag, but heated mirrors. Leather everywhere.
If my mirrors worked, they would be heated, by the way. That's a different story.
An 8-way equalizer on the stereo. My dad has the original window sticker for the old one. It was $22,000 in 1988.
Holy cow.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So that was a big. It was
a big deal.
Yeah, that was
but
a
the
big
exhaust was
My
1
stripper
3/4
Volvo-
inches in its smallest place. It was
And
designed to
was
be
that
quiet.
because it was luxury and they wanted to keep
quiet.
it down?
1 3/4 inches. As soon as you put a 2.5 inch all the way back, I mean,
Instant power.
it built boost because it was a 7-to-1 compression engine. So I ran 19 pounds of boost, and it would go 7, 12, 20, 7, 12, 20 in the gears, but it only redlined at 5,500. Because it was a 2.6 liter 4-cylinder.
Oh God, yeah.
It was also a forklift motor.
It was a forklift engine.
I had a neighbor with a Mitsubishi Mighty Max.
Same engine.
And I always thought it sounded like a remote-controlled car.
It does.
It was this little high-pitched thing.
No cats, no muffler. And it sounded like a dump truck. It was. But it was so cool to see that car go by. And
What's the biggest thing
fucking
y'all
that
ever
noise.
driven?
What's that?
What is the biggest thing you guys have ever driven?
A full-size U-Haul.
Yeah, I mean, I've driven a U-Haul, but from a vehicle perspective, my dad used to have a big F-250, and I felt like I was driving a fucking monster truck compared to everything else I was used driving. Like,
Yeah.
And he would swing that thing around parking lots, and I'm like, I'm not even going into a parking lot.
How do people daily this thing?
It's just a very awkward feeling.
Over a short distance, church bus. Stub nose, 50 foot long, whatever the hell the thing was that kept breaking down. Any the distance was a Ford F7000 dump truck when I worked for the construction company
F7000
with a manual.
With like 21 gears or something?
Taking it through downtown High Point, like in summer 2000, working for a construction company because, easygoing summer job. Almost flipped the Bobcat during that same summer, too.
Oh, God.
Yeah, had some weird shit go on back then.
Popper.
Blue thing.
There we go. Before we move on, we have the Founders.
I like how we were going to do Dogfish. We've done nothing but Founders.
You know what? Well, Michigan saved the day, too.
Not finding Dogfish.
Oh, that's true. Michigan works.
Michigan saved the day.
Yeah.
All right.
Better Half. Old ale brewed with molasses and aged in maple syrup bourbon barrels.
Kind of the same maple. And I tell you,
still got some left.
I'm still working.
Shit, okay, sorry.
No, that's fine. I'll catch up.
Okay, I'll wait.
I will say just real quick, when it comes to maple, it can easily be overdone. Mm-hmm. Founders, I think, does it beautifully.
Founders and Southern Tier to me do the best sort of dessert novelty beers.
Yeah,
like it's dessert beers. Southern Tier probably does the best, but Founders does the best. Do the best like balanced. Like it's not too much of one thing. It's really good.
Yeah, and I can read that description and actually taste everything that
absolutely
that they describe.
Next up, Toyota Celica Supra.
Dude, when I worked in Raleigh at the Sam's Club tire shop, kid had one he was restoring, and that was a fool's errand back in 2002. Because they rust out a bunch, and he tried to find 16-inch wheels to fit the four-lug 14-inch wheels.
Yes.
Had to get them custom made.
Oh, my God.
As well as replacing the body panels, particularly the back deck lid hatch. That the one he had was made of Swiss cheese. I never got to see the finished product because his family wound up moving to Tennessee.
Yuck.
Yeah. I was like, this had potential. But I don't know if kid named Chad.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's like, the Kyle before Kyle was Kyle.
Yeah.
I will say this is on this list only because people didn't know. Mm-hmm. They didn't know what they didn't know.
Yeah.
Now, anything tied to the
Celica
super name is
totally.
Yeah.
It was getting hard to find tires for the Starion, though.
Yeah, well, you were having a lot of trouble with finding anything that fit it right.
What size were the wheels on the Starion?
They were staggered, so it was the fronts were
stagger would be crazy.
205 50 16. The rears were 245 45 16. So it was a pretty wide. It was the widest tire on a 16-inch wheel at the time. It was one of the widest tires on any car at the time, unless you were like in Lambo and Ferrari.
Sure.
Yeah, I think the 16 sound about like. Or the 205 sound about what went on the White Devil.
Mm-hmm. I do like the Supra and Celica, though. Next up, Mitsubishi Montero.
Dude, have you seen the first-gen Supra?
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah.
That's not a good-looking rig.
Montero
this
now
guy,
looks
though,
more like 80s Range Rover.
I was going to say, it looks like just a big Range Rover.
Yeah. That's kind of the sleeper hit that's now gaining traction that Jeff Glucker picked one up. That said, I've still had a softer spot for the Troopers of the mid-late 80s.
Well, the two-door Monteros had the 2.6 from the Starion in it. You could easily turbo them.
Dodge Raider.
Raider. What's a cool name.
Before it became the rebadged Dodge Dakota pickup later on.
Yes.
Which would be an interesting unobtainium thing, much like the Suzuki Equator, Nissan Frontier.
Yes. Like every now and then I'll see one, I'll go, what?
Whoa. Yeah, it's like that was from the very end of them 10 years ago, and the Frontier's still in production, therefore parts should be plentiful.
It says the poor man's G-Wagon, the Montero. That's great.
I just feel sorry for Mitsubishi. Yeah. Like I root for them because they've had some super big hits, and they've had some great cars, and then they're like, oh, you guys really like that, and that's a great car? Well, we're not going to do that anymore.
Exactly.
Let's make more Gallants. It's like,
No, I don't hate the Outlander Sport. it's a good looking little rig.
Right, but if you're going to look for something in that category,
thing. Yeah, like
are you going to pick a Mitsubishi?
They're all for rental cars, but like,
yeah,
it's a good looking little sport ute.
Yeah, but if I were buying one with my own money, I wouldn't buy the Montero.
No.
I wouldn't buy the.
How much is a Montero?
An old one? I don't know. You can get one from JDM Classics, a right-hand drive one, pretty fucking cheap. But it's called a Pajero.
Oh,
you're a Pajero.
I will not take this standing up. That's why I'm sitting down. Next up,
Tú eres un perro.
I hate that.
You obviously never saw the June or July 1985 issue of Playboy, did you?
It's car of the year.
That was the car of the year.
We did that episode.
Karen Vasquez.
We did the best the Playboy cars of the year.
You know, the things you find in your father's nightstand.
I hope Mrs. Nix is not listening to this.
No.
Or is the statute of limitations?
This is what it was back when I was 15.
Getting divorced in your 60s is like, I mean, it's like punting on your own, like the other team's 20-yard line. Like, you're almost fucking there. There's really no point in
just write it out, man. Just write it out.
I hate that generation MR2.
I know, but this is another, I think.
The second one did it so much better.
Second one's great.
Well, of course, but this was the Supra before it was the Supra. This was the MR2 before it was the MR2.
Yeah.
This was before its time.
It's better than the third
90s.
Gen. Yeah.
Did it.
I learned stick on a turbo MR2. It was my brother's. It was either 90.
Wait, you lived? Or
yeah, that little.
And when did the car get stolen?
Well, I will say it was a tough stick to learn. So I couldn't go fast because I could barely get it going to begin with. But he either had I think it was a 92 or 94. But either way, that little. And it was red. It was that color.
So the rounded one, the good one.
Yes.
I love those
so fast.
The second gen.
That little thing was a monster.
I love those things.
Yeah.
Next up, CRX. I don't think that's underappreciated. Everybody loves a CRX.
Yeah,
I agree. If you've ever been any kind of car enthusiast, you know what a CRX is.
I had a crazy ass neighbor that had an 86 SI.
Yeah.
And
I wanted one growing up.
I still want one.
You didn't live until you had someone like climbing on the hood of said CRX while you're driving it.
Yeah.
You couldn't have that.
You did dumb shit early in your licensing with that car.
You couldn't have that much fun going 0 to 60 in 10 seconds in any other car but that one.
Yeah.
And get 50 miles per gallon.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you had the SI, darn, it's 35. That's a more performance-oriented one.
True.
But, yeah. I would spare the half phone dials, though. Like, the early ones with the seal beams is kind of dopey. The pictured one is a poor example.
Yeah, the pictured one's a poor example. The later ones were great.
Yeah.
However, the
second gens after 88 are amazing. James Bond's Lincoln, by the way. License to Kill, he's got one.
I don't like...
It's not a good movie.
I don't like the 7. I like the Mark 8.
Yes.
Much better.
But
the 7 is the one with the fake spare. This car's disgusting. I hate this car.
The 8 is gorgeous.
Yes.
I would love...
You could still get a Mark 7 with the 5-speed, and it was all like Thunderbird parts.
Yeah,
of course it was.
Yeah.
But the 8 is when it became more of a luxury. This is like fake ass luxury.
Remember the interior? I love the interior of the 8. Do you remember the interior of the 8?
It's probably
it was like that super wraparound thing.
I don't know.
If
red
I recall,
or blue
that,
or something.
That was one of the Playboy
Super
cars of the year,
plush.
wasn't it? Because who's picking that stuff?
I'll show. I love the interior of the Mark 8 because it reminded me of the Prelude.
Ooh,
particularly the.
Okay,
that's a good looking interior.
The third gens.
Yeah, it had the big. It's so pretty.
Can we just talk about how it's 200 to 225 horsepower from a 5-liter V8? Could you be any more inefficient?
Efficiency wasn't in the...
Yes.
Well, now you're getting like a 3/4 liter, 2-cylinder with 600 horsepower. So
it's amazing just how quickly... this was the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't really that long ago.
Yeah, it bumped the power in the Mark 8. But yeah, that was atrocious. picture the Cadillacs in the 70s. We'd have 5-liter V8 with 160 horsepower.
Yeah,
Even
driving
like
a
choking
6,000
300 pound-feet of torque, though.
Well, yeah.
Next up, Shelby Charger.
I can dig it.
I've got neighbors that have, I would think it's an early 90s Daytona sitting in the backyard riding in teal.
Yeah.
But it's funny, it's like, that's the closest I have to this. But this is during the Chrysler Mitsubishi era of Bonkers McTavish turbo power.
Diamond Star Motors didn't start until the Eclipse.
Oh, the Eclipse was one I always wanted.
Oh, yeah.
This
GSX.
Yes.
All-wheel drive.
Yes.
But if I remember correctly, this would have been pre-DSM, since the Plymouth and Dodge Colts of 1978 were early in the Mitsubishi cahoots.
Yes.
So that lasted until Benz and then Fiat and whatever have you. Now they're probably in their best form.
Honestly, if I were head of FCA, I would just get the Americans and the Italians together, and I would go, Italians, you're in charge of the styling and the interior. Got it? Americans, you're in charge of the drivetrain and the engine. You guys get together and build. I'm going on lunch.
Yeah, do something.
Because FCA makes the most exciting drivetrains.
I'd rather have the Italian lunch.
Well, yeah, you have lunch in Italy. That's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Oh, of course. I don't know. Good bacon cheeseburger. Can't get that in Italy.
I'm thinking chicken parm.
It's fair.
Because I had recently had chicken parm and want more of them.
Next up, Mercedes.
Or last night's chicken marsala leftovers.
How about the Benz E-Class coupes from the late 80s, early 90s to mid 90s? That's a good looking car.
During which you could have a drop top too.
And headlight wipers.
The headlight wipers.
So I thought it was so corny at the time, but now I'm like, you know what? That's fucking cool looking, actually.
That's just that extra little touch of luxury.
Yep.
But I look at this car, I'm like, yeah, that's a Mercedes.
Yeah, it's just, but
there's just
German
something
box.
about them that just doesn't make me excited.
I like that generation. There's something classy about it. That's
classy.
Not overstated.
Correct.
There's nothing exciting about it, but it is a classy.
That's understated
that
money.
is-
Like if you have money and you're driving around, yeah, I get it.
Well, I told Steve.
It starts, it runs, it works. This is before Benz went to hell in a handbasket with sophistication. This is the end of
Before
them
the
just
electronics.
being solid.
This is when it was mechanical.
Yeah.
I told Steve before I sold the Cherokee and I was looking at toys, I was actually toying around with the idea of a mid-80s 300D turbo diesel Benz just to have and cruise in.
Yeah.
But I know me, and I would like to have one. That would be a good third car for me, but it wouldn't be a good toy. Like, if I have a toy, I want it to go fast.
You want a fun car. You want a fun
fast car. Right. Yeah.
Which is why you have a 300 horsepower Jeep.
That's a different kind of fun though. Like it's slow until like it's so funny because there's no power before it's low end torque, but then if you rev it up really high in red line, it actually will move out of the way. But it's not really built for that. I had the most fun going up and down those cabin roads in the car I brought than any fucking body else because Toby drove his 2013 Civic SI.
He'd have to dodge every last rock on that hill, right?
He drove the SI. Sean and Corin drove their Ford Focus because they didn't want to drive the BMW M3 convertible.
Yeah, we'll drive the car with the
What?
shitty
You drive the
transmission.
M3 convertible?
Up the cabin road?
Oh no, was it really cabiny? Was it like?
Oh yeah, I had to put the Jeep in 4-wheel drive.
Oh okay, I hear you.
Jason,
so it works.
Jason drove the Lexus GS3.
Whoa!
He drove it up there. He's like, I bought this car to drive it. I'm fucking driving. I'm like, you're my new hero.
Okay, man. Yeah.
He's sufficiently batshit. I like him.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
He drove the GS 350F Sport up those, and it was. I put the Jeep in 4-wheel drive.
Pretty steep, yeah.
It would have gone in 2-wheel drive, but 4-wheel drive made it much easier.
Sure.
I was like, you're my new hero.
Yeah.
By the way, I never had it in 4-wheel drive before. I felt like I could have gone anywhere. I just put it in 4. I was like, it just went.
Did you put it 4 low?
No, I just put it in 4 high.
Okay.
4 low, it won't let you stall out. You just like let the clutch out completely, and it'll just creep.
Ooh.
Believe it or not, my wife's Forester, which is all-wheel drive anyway, but they actually have an X mode, which is like a climbing mode.
Yeah,
and it's just
I never knew what
steady
X
Eddie.
mode is. It's just like that.
Yeah.
Don't.
it's when
That's so
DMX
vague.
comes out and yells at you.
Yeah, I think it's basically like a 4-low is what it seems like to me. It's kind of like a low climbing mode, and I think the RPMs top out at 2,000 or something like that.
When I bought the Wrangler from the Audi dealership,
It's okay. You can call it low range.
when I bought the Wrangler from the Audi dealership, the finance manager was a Wrangler owner who converted his 2-door into the truck.
Dang.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And,
like a micro scrambler.
Yeah, he said, "Have you ever had a 4-wheel drive?" He said, "Was your Cherokee 4-wheel drive?" I says, "2." He goes, "Do you know what the difference between 4 high and 4 low is?" And I said, "Not a fucking clue." He goes, 4-wheel drive high gets you through things. 4-wheel drive low gets you out of things.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
So if you're stuck, you put it in 4 low. If
you
you're just
climb
trying to get through mud or if you're already moving and everything, 4-wheel drive high is perfect. Yeah. And 4-wheel drive high in the Wrangler you can shift up to 60 miles per hour into from 2-wheel drive.
As you're going, you can engage
bam,
it.
Wow.
Drive.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect that.
Did
I
you
didn't
happen
either.
to encounter a landslide on I-40?
No, there was no Fleetwood Mac concerts.
Dang.
Yeah, but-
that was awesome. Steve's like, damn it.
No, I love that
said, my current car is the first one I've had with any useful traction control, if traction control at all.
How do you guys like the
One morning driving into work, it's raining. Set it off 12 times. Never mind, I'm always in a bigger hurry getting to work than leaving work, but it was interesting seeing that little thing blinking at me a bunch. And now to pay better attention to my tires,
Man, mine only
that's
blinks at me. when
probably
I'm-
part
when
of
I'm gunning
why.
it, then it'll start flashing at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine doesn't do that. Yeah. I don't lose traction.
What I really want to find is just a big open parking lot where I
Like,
can turn everything off
I have...
and see what
I,
the
That'd be
limitations
fun.
are.
I-
Yeah.
as much as I love this thing, it is modern cheap car and will be driven as
As
modern cheap car. It's like, what do we do? Break this thing?
Right.
I know exactly where to find more of them
Me too.
and more of yours, and yours will be tougher.
Well, we have all sorts of drivetrains here. We have front wheel, rear wheel, and 4-wheel.
Yeah.
How'd y'all like the
Yay,
Founders?
wrong driver.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
good.
I've been happy with the everything.
You know how much it was? 4-pack total wine, $11.99.
Nice.
That's a good price.
Yeah, for
I
The
spent
KBS were expensive.
the ABV. Oh, there it is.
Does anybody want a weedy mango or the 1 day weekend?
I'm good.
Sure.
I'm good at the moment.
Oh, he's good at them. 12.7%, and this was a 2018.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Which church just hand you both?
he's good for right now. He said.
Okay.
Because I'm working on other stuff, but
He-
I can,
yeah,
I
he's
can
still-
catch up. It's fine.
Whatever you want to open.
Yeah, do
The stuff you're opening is lower
Here,
ABV.
you
Yeah,
need-
don't wait
you-
on me.
You need a weedy bird.
Sweet. Next up is the E34 5 Series. That's
like-
a pretty one.
This is better than the standard one, by the way, because this is empty already.
Nice. I like that 5 Series.
It's a classic
Yes,
BMW
I've
design.
always
right there.
That's a pretty one.
enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And the one before it and the one after it, I was obsessed with the one before it. It's like I wanted that something fierce.
What is the reliability? Like, so I'm
No.
not. It's not
No,
6-speed, 280
I never
V8.
saw the one of the later Mission Impossibles. They had some variant of this or one before it. in the
American
movie.
James Bond.
Yeah.
Look at the second to last sentence. Traditionalist will likely stick with the older but still torquey Big Six found in the 535.
Huh. Well,
I feel like that's what Steve just said, right?
straight sixes.
He's like, I prefer
Yeah.
the older one.
A straight 6 engine is naturally balanced. It
Yeah.
doesn't need balance shafts.
I would have adored to pick up an 02 to 05 Lexus IS 300, but they're not fast and they're hungry.
Well, they are, but they had the.
But
They
that
had the
would
one
be
JZ.
yeah. So-
Remember, Levi's girlfriend had one. He would drive it every now and then.
Do not recall.
Yeah, it was automatic. So,
If you're gonna get the automatic one, then get the wagon because they only offer ideally it would be the Sport Cross with a stick. Because that's how I roll. I like going from pickup truck. Yeah, I need a hatchback. And it's been kind of funny to see how much smaller the new one is than the last one.
I'll never have a truck. I don't want to be everybody's best friend on the weekend.
Hey, it worked for a while.
I love these next cars.
You know, I kind of cheated and scrolled ahead, and I'm super excited about this one.
I love the Geostorm, Isuzu Impulse.
Dang it.
I love those cars.
Things I forgot to say. What are we brought to you today by?
Oh?
Getting crushed to death metaphorically and literally. Picking up a spare tire out of a Camry at pull apart. The trunk was full of water. Therefore, the spare was basically floating.
Oh.
That Camry body started teetering when I picked the spare out of it.
Wow.
I'm going to take this and go.
And you should have told me. I want to go to pull apart to find a... I wish I wasn't like I am, but my Wrangler doesn't have where the hood prop hooks in, like the little clip. That little clip is missing. And I have something in the spot, and it's holding it. I want the OEM one.
You need the prop locks.
Yeah.
I saw only one Jeep in all this where there were locks for the hooks.
Yeah, you can go into any Wrangler and pop the hood if you want. It's not locked. You can just doot. And then,
there's a trust factor, man. Nobody knows not to fuck with a Wrangler.
Yeah, nobody. The same with the gas cap thing.
They'll leave you.
There's no gas cap door.
They'll leave you unicorns. It's
I did
amazing.
order. Yeah. I ordered a gas cap door.
You told me about the ducking, right?
Yes, I ordered the gas cap door for mine though, because you could just walk up to any Jeep and. I ordered the gas cap door.
Nope.
$120.
Wow.
But it's the Mopar OEM one. And, well.
That's kind of funny that that's an official part, and to do so is quite the ransom.
I wanted it. And.
Well, you've been happy with your Mopar official weather text, right? Without the fascism?
Yes. But I can actually hang the gas cap
Italian
over
ownership.
It instead of just having it dangle into the paint.
Yeah.
You know the funny thing? With all the cars I've owned, and I'm now 39 years old, I pretty much just figured out within the last, I don't know, call it 3 years, that the gas cap door is designed to hold your gas cap.
Yep. Most of them are.
And when I figured that shit out, I'm like, you have got to be kidding me.
Yep.
But I never knew this.
It's just, what is this little notch here?
Yeah.
Yep.
And instead of right in there, you're Jesus. Why
the
didn't anyone
Mopar
tell
one
me
doesn't have it, though.
It always cracks me up.
The Mopar one doesn't have it.
It's always cracks me up seeing people that leave their separate gas cap on the roof. You're gonna have some paint problems, Pilgrim.
Yep.
The attached one on the Vibe broke somewhere years ago, but then the gas cap door still worked.
So you could still
still do the thing. Yeah. It's barring creative parking at Costco.
Yeah.
Yep, it doesn't have a cap caddy on the Mopar door, but I know you can still walk up to it, but at least it's not advertised that it just, here's the gas cap, you can just get in it whenever you want.
Yeah.
But they do sell lockable ones for the Wrangler for $35. But do I want to carry an extra key?
No.
If no one's messed with it now,
nobody
they're definitely
messes
not
with
going to
Wrangler.
mess.
Sean and I were talking about this. It's like if you left your M3 convertible, somebody's going to fucking spit in it if you leave the top
right, because you're automatically a prick.
Yeah, but in the Wrangler, people are usually like, as long as you don't have the angry eye grill or anything, or it's jacked up to it has tire shine on it. They're probably not.
Or we have $10 a gallon gas where people are stealing gas, and it's Mad Max.
So
probably okay.
You're fine. Yeah,
probably okay.
You're fine.
Yeah, worst of sin was 4, but whatever.
But here's the infuriating.
During which I had the pre-runner.
Here's the infuriating part of this.
No,
I ordered this part. There was one in Ohio and one in Hickory of the state. The one in Hickory was $15 more, but it was free shipping, and I was like, it's from Hickory. I'm going to get this motherfucker in 2 days. Tops standard shipping, right?
Ideally.
go there and get it yourself.
That would be my
Or-
expectation.
local pickup.
Yeah.
I ordered it Monday. It is just now left Hickory and is in Greensboro. I almost messaged the guy. I'm like, did you use a carrier pigeon to send this? Like, I would have just ordered it and paid the extra rush shipping.
Right.
Like, that's why I paid a little more, because I knew I was going to get it sooner. And now it's like, oh, it's estimated delivery's Tuesday. I'm like,
It's like, what?
It's
So I
in
bought it and you
Greensboro.
didn't fucking do anything for 4 days?
well, the guy had a higher rating too, so it might be the postal service, but
Yeah.
still.
And a lot of
Well-
these guys are just middlemen, which, you know,
Well, it
I've
had
had
local pickup.
trouble getting parts.
Was this
Oh,
off
so we had
eBay?
to
It had
stock?
local pickup as an option on eBay, but it was
Oh.
Hickory. I'm like, I got to work the next 9 fucking days straight. Like, so
Right. Yeah, just
I
ship
don't
it to
have.
me.
Yeah, just ship it to me.
Again, you figured you're going to get it in a couple days.
So I don't think it's his fault. He dropped it off. I ordered it Monday night. He dropped it off at the post office Tuesday. Standard.
So at least had a shipping thingamahoo's it.
I didn't
there.
get a tracking number until yesterday. So I don't know what's going on, but I don't need that thing.
Damn
but
you,
I ordered
Louis
it,
does
you-
not
and
When
I
you order
bring
something,
me
you
joy.
want it.
and it's Hickory's 60 miles away. So
Yeah,
I
like,
had to
I
wait 2
could've-
months for my exhaust, and it was
Ugh.
it was brutal. I'm like, I'm going to fly over to Japan and just go get it myself.
That's funny because
Can I go with you?
I had ordered the shift and e-brake boost for the car,
Mm-hmm.
shipped from Britain in 3 days.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Like during the everything
During
back
the
in
everything,
May.
right,
Like, what
yeah.
the fuck? How did you do this?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, trying to order incorrect version of Tiny Toyota Auris took 3 months.
Oh,
like,
God.
well, shit.
Yeah.
That's the earlier model that didn't sell here.
Well, we got plenty of.
So ordered another one. That's the correct model. Guy's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this when I can. Like, I still haven't seen it yet. It's been 2 months on that one.
do we have a your car in Hot Wheels or Matchbox, like on the top of the Pop-Tart box?
This is about the closest thing I got to it, and that is 30 or 50.
Fuck.
They
that.
were expensive for those.
Uh,
Yeah, the Shrunken Vibe and Shrunken S2000 were much easier to come by.
I love.
Kalen did not care for me to pick up a Shrunken CRV, maybe from the same guy, so it would take a season to get here.
No.
Like, she likes that car a lot, but doesn't wish for it shrunken. And that bombshell, Arby's.
Next up, well, before that, I love the Storm, like the Impulse and the Storm. That's a great looking car.
Yes.
It's such a great little front wheel drive econo box.
Again,
And-
this falls into the category of unique. Like,
Yes.
this is fantastic. If I saw an Isuzu Impulse on the road, I would follow that person until they stopped so I could see what the
What they
fuck
look
is
like?
this? I want to see it.
Who is this?
Like, this is great.
Well, like that and the Scirocco. All
Yeah.
the same designer
Yeah,
as the
Scirocco, same
DeLorean.
thing.
It's
Yeah.
all Giardio.
Yeah,
You're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Give me
That's
your
awesome.
squished
Yeah.
hatchback.
yeah.
And in high school, a buddy of mine named Stephen Honeycutt had the wagon Geostorm,
Hell yeah.
and he had on the back Steven Storm on it.
That's great.
It was such a cool car, and people hated on it. It was like, he's driving a hatchback. I'm like, fuck you. That's a cool fucking car.
Yeah, that's a cool car, man. Fuck you.
The next up was the ZR1, which we already talked about, the C4.
Yeah. Again, that's my least exciting
I like
Corvette design because it is so simple. I know that's why you like it.
I like to me.
But
I
it's
do.
a classic Corvette.
I like I like clean
Yeah.
designs.
Yeah.
I like your Supra, but I prefer a cleaner, boring design.
No,
I like
yeah,
it.
I totally get it.
Well, I like
The Supra's very busy. It's got a lot going on.
Yeah, I like to see a car where you go like, oh, that it's clean, it's pretty, and then it just flies.
You're like, whoa.
That was unassuming.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a oh,
there's nothing unassuming about the Supra, that's for
no.
sure.
And then there's 3000 GT.
I'm surprised this is on the list.
I don't think it's underappreciated.
I don't
Everybody,
either. Maybe this is one of those things. If you're not an enthusiast, maybe you don't even know this car exists. Anybody that has any, I don't know, anyone that has any kind of
Automotive
interest in
knowledge.
cars. I mean, this is one of your grandfathers.
did you know what the Active Aero did?
No.
So it had active aero, so the rear spoiler and the front lip would tilt at a certain speed
as you accelerate.
would drive. Yeah.
I mean, how ahead of that? I mean,
that was
come
heavy.
on.
It was heavy. Like that car was heavy, like 3750.
But to me, that's your 3000 and your Supra and your RX-7 and your maybe your 350. I mean, those were like your flagship.
Your Japanese, yeah.
They
actually made all the other car companies from Europe and America go back to the drawing board and go, we got to make these cars a little bit better.
These were game changers.
Oh, they were. A buddy of mine named John McGrath had a 94 VR4.
Awesome.
He did downpipe, boost controller on stock turbos. So downpipe, boost controller, and drag radials, and ran a 12.2.
Holy shit. Which would have been, I don't know, $1,000?
If that, yeah.
If that. I mean, my downpipe right now, my downpipe for my Supra was $1,000, and that was because it was catted. If I got a full race pipe, it would have been $400. It's literally a steel pipe.
You're right.
Like there's nothing to it.
Right.
So you do that with tires and a boost controller, which the boost controller is a couple $100. That's nothing.
Oh, I can make. Well, I don't know about your car, but I made a dozen boost controllers for the Starion group,
right?
With a really high compression spring, a ball bearing, and then a couple of I can make you a boost controller right now. I could go to Ace Hardware and make you a boost controller. Right. Hook it up to the wastegate. If I was I could hook it up. We're talking about
very
GT.
cheap mods. Nice. Very, very cheap mods for huge power gains.
I thought the Stealth looked better. I know I'm in the minority. I like the Stealth better than the 3000.
Hidden headlights, FTFW. Oh my.
But after that, we had the Toyota Previa.
How does a minivan make this list?
Because I like that minivan.
Yes.
Let me tell you exactly. I have kind of a unique story with the Previa.
Okay.
So my grandfather was kind of the beautiful mind type. He was an engineer, architect, very smart, probably to his own fault, to the point where he was a hoarder because everything that he saw had a purpose. So he's like, "Oh, I'll save this because I'm going to do this with it," and what it ends up being is he doesn't do anything, and he collects all this.
I'm trying to cover
stuff.
over that myself.
The
running gag is like old school cell phone cable. It's like, I these things have a couple
I can totally do something with this.
No,
right.
no, you
no,
can't.
You actually can't.
There are now two standards to that. Nothing is going to use this Nokia cable from 20 years ago.
I mean, he had like bags of popsicle sticks. I mean, the guy was, like way too. But he had a Previa, and he drove that shit forever, and he loved it because the motor was tilted. I don't know if you've ever seen it. The motor is.
How are they gonna make it fit under the driver's seat? It was a mid-engine minivan that didn't
and it
happen.
sat at like this weird, 80-degree angle or whatever it was. So it was just off.
So are you saying Toyota offered a slant 4?
Literally, I think yes.
Was it front-wheel drive?
Rear drive.
Rear drive.
If not all-wheel drive.
Oh.
You could get it supercharged, and the fact the engine's in the middle, and this is the early 90s, didn't crash well. Do not wreck this. Like, it won't be as deadly as the Space Ace before it, but your knees are your crash zone in that van.
Was his a manual or automatic?
It's been so long.
Probably automatic.
Knowing him, probably. I mean, he drove that until he died. He is probably automatic. He was.
I saw a stick version of that in Germany. I don't know if they even sold the manual variant here, but was aware of it. Like, this would be incredible. This may kill you. So, confronted with the same thing, I just get a stick Mazda 5, which is much more difficult than my little obscure car.
Next up, TVR Chimera. Only offered in,
Pertain,
what's up? As much. It just
they're not legal to import unless they're 25 years old.
Yeah, well, you had the early TVRs that were complete pain in the ass to own before 1980, but just look at it.
No airbags.
We die like real men.
Yes.
For some reason, the TBR always reminds me of John Travolta.
Because
he had one, and that was the first time I had ever seen a TBR.
Swordfish.
That must have been it.
Yeah.
I forgot he was in, I don't know why.
That was like him and Halle Berry in Swordfish,
like, what the
the
fuck
Hackers
is a
movie,
TBR?
like from 2001. Yeah, there were TBRs sold here, but until about 1980. And then you're just dealing with old British car.
Halle Berry, garlic's my nuts. Renault Twingo
Sounds a bit
next.
savory.
I mean, I can't argue on Halle Berry.
Dude.
So I got nothing to say.
Renault Twingo.
Fuck you, Opposite Lock, and your obsession with this dumb thing.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's just,
This is that weird no grill car again. You get like that.
Yeah, but it has
Yeah.
just a front engine car. But the engine's so small it doesn't require air because you could blow on it and cool it.
Yeah, no, there's nothing exciting
versus
about
the
that.
Fiat
I
500
like
that
it.
doesn't require cats.
Yep. RAV4 though.
Yeah, RAV4's all right.
It's not
The
bad.
OG
Sure.
one with the 2-door and the removable back portion. It looked like a shrunken 4Runner.
Keep it going. I got to
But
pay the water bill.
I mean, I don't know if I'd call it underappreciated. I mean, there's a lot of people that drove RAV4s.
yeah. And still do. Like, my sister-in-law has one. That's
Yeah.
what my dad wants for what may or may not be his last car.
Yeah.
But the early ones just look so delicate by today's standards. And
They do,
especially
yeah.
this little guy. Like, look at the A-pillar. It is made of aforementioned popsicle stick.
It reminds me of
It
me of the samurai like we were
delicate,
talking
yeah.
about. Like if that thing rolls over, you're
Yeah,
toast. Dude, you're crushed.
I am unaware of this having the same rollover hazard, but
I don't think it does actually.
it-
But
it's a
Good
very delicate looking thing. But at least with these original ones in 2-door drag, you can pop the top off the back end,
yep.
which is real funny considering the next one.
I like this next one.
Again,
This goes to the uniqueness factor. Just
the
anything
lifted,
Suzuki.
the
is-
lifted Del Sol.
Yeah. Yeah, Suzuki X90.
Yeah.
5-speed manual.
Natch.
Little 2-seater.
It came with rear driver all drive. Like, oh yeah, I need to find one now that's a rear driver because why not?
I mean, this thing probably had what, a 3-cylinder in it? But, I mean,
probably a
doesn't say
small
here, but,
4.
yeah.
You didn't see 3 cylinders back in that era unless it was the Geo Metro,
Metro.
which was a Suzuki manufactured product.
yeah. We used to have a really good friend of mine back when I was in high school drove a Metro.
AJ,
Yes.
lifted Del Sol. Oh yes,
The
we're up
XC90?
to the
The
XC90. The X90. Yeah, not XC90. It's like that's a fluffy Volvo thing, and wouldn't be shabby. However,
I do like the X9.
it's so
I wouldn't
weird.
buy one, but for cute chick
Well,
car, like
Yeah.
cute chick,
I can
beach
appreciate the uniqueness of
car. But the next one is my jam.
Again.
that was an also
If you don't
ran
know-
for a hot minute.
I mean, I'm sorry, who doesn't appreciate a Prelude? If you have any knowledge of cars or like cars,
Hey, I almost could have had Colin's dad's 81 Prelude, but
That's
wrong
original.
transmission and pink and
Good.
fading red.
I love.
The vacuum lines. Like, I look at the diagram of that.
oof.
No. There's a reason that thing sat where the boat now sits.
That Prelude
That
was
there.
the second best handling front wheel drive car I've ever driven.
Mhm.
Second best.
Beyond
First
the
was
TSX.
TSX was the best.
Nice.
Ridden in Integra Type R,
Ooh, yeah.
but
You don't
as far
wish
as
for this
driven-
thing to be stolen.
right, driven. Those are such good, sporty,
So
like
much fun.
sport coupes. It's just such a good car, and very clean. I like the front. I even like the one before that though. The other Prelude too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one too. I like all
Yeah,
Preludes.
I like both.
All
I don't know if I know
well,
a Prelude. I don't.
The
Yeah.
first gen looks like a Civic Coupe.
Yeah.
It's well, but a 1981 Civic Coupe. It's less a looker. Once they got wedgy, it got better. And by 1988, they nailed it.
Yeah.
I actually like the Plymouth Prowler.
You too?
I don't like the
such
transmission.
A batshit thing.
I don't like the top. It shouldn't have came with a top. It should have been one of those it's a convertible, park it in your garage, put a V8 in it. But I didn't like the engine. Didn't like transmission. I didn't like the top. I like the way it looks.
Hey, that's the best iteration of the 300M, all right?
Yeah.
I hate the car completely. From a car perspective.
Yeah.
But from the fact that Plymouth did this, I love it.
This was like batshittery.
This was like the PT Cruiser before the PT Cruiser.
And had Plymouth existed longer, the PT
but
Cruiser
I love that they made
would have been a Plymouth.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a Chrysler Prowler the last couple of years, and it didn't flow.
Again, I love that they made the car because it's fantastic and it's weird and it's interesting and you want to look at it, but I absolutely hate the car.
But it was one of the first cars. It was one of the first cars that offered bone stock 20-inch wheels in the back.
Yeah.
That
and when you saw one on the road, you stopped and
it was ridiculous.
You're like, man, that's fucking
that
wild.
and the concurrent Dodge Ram, were the first ones to have stock 20s.
You know how long the front end is on that?
Yeah,
I wonder if a 2JZ would fit. that would be the most bonkers.
Interesting. Well, unfortunately, that engine will now run you $7,000 instead of $2,000. Thanks to the latest TST I'm listening to.
Yeah, well, the 1JZ
Canadians.
1JZ's fine. You can still push many horsepowers. The next one.
Next one though.
That's up
my old
alley.
roommate, whose birthday was a few days ago, up in Durham, had or has one. At the time, the Jeep Cherokee 5.9 Limited wasn't terribly limited unless you decided to submerge the thing.
Yep.
Because at the time, this was the fastest sport utility vehicle prior to the early AMG M-Class Mercedes-Benz.
Can I go out on a limb, Steve?
What? Us do that here? Why, yes.
Not on a
do
tangent.
You want
a limb.
Left or right? Same diff.
That generation of Jeep Grand Cherokee
is the best
looking one of that's the best looking Grand Cherokee they have ever built.
The new ones still are striking.
They're good looking. The one,
except for like the ones that were like kind of bubbly eyed, not so much, but like the current ones
awful.
Are. I like to say they took indecent liberties with it.
The first one?
Same said previous roommate. Really hated pun.
Yeah, the bubbly eyed ones are ugly. Ugly. But
I had a lot of fun like prodding him on every last pun possible.
Yeah, that's my favorite
and
one.
yet he'll still talk to me.
Brian, that's my favorite Jeep Grand Cherokee that's ever been built. I think that's the best looking one.
A lifted Plymouth
Yeah, that's
Voyager.
great. I can't.
It was
argue
Steve
against
said,
that. That's a classic.
Fastest
Cherokee.
production SUV at the time.
Holy crap! What was it? It was, 5.9 V8.
Yeah.
V8. Yeah.
My old roommate had one.
Yeah, that's a monster at that
Yeah,
time.
and he dailied a biodiesel powered Ram.
Next up, we have.
You need to meet Matt.
I do.
Because he's
Next up, though, we have
insane.
a Suzuki. And I don't like the Grand Vitara.
Grand Viagra.
You know, I've been sitting here
Sweet psychic,
saying
bro.
that I love anything unique, like, Suzuki's and stuff, and then we get to this car, and I'm like,
well, that is actually, that's what the Geo Tracker looked like, or the Chevy Tracker looked like after Geo got the axe.
Yeah.
And then the Tracker went from cute, boxy Barbie mobile to whatever the fuck that is.
But for what it's worth, all right, it's still body and frame with a V6, 8 inches ground clearance.
I mean, that's good.
It's
just boring.
yeah.
When's the last time you had a
dull.
Grand Vitara off-road. That would be so cool to do, like a Gambler 500 with a Grand Vitara.
I heard about people doing that. By the way, get yourself an old off-roader and go off-roading.
Oh, no, it doesn't have to be an off-roader. So the Gambler 500, you spend 500 or less on any vehicle and then take it to Oregon. And then they have a rally stage, like a off-road rally stage where every car there is $500 or under, and you have teams of people who race.
Yeah, basically, in the era of the RAV4 CRV, like at least this has some old school credentials about it.
Yeah,
so that's why that's a thing. It was 2 or 3 TST episodes ago where the ladies were talking about taking one of these and beating the shit out of it.
That'd be so great.
That's a thing.
I need to see the winners of the Gambler 500, like the last couple of years.
Yeah, and which ones landed on their roof?
Can you hand me the popper?
Oh yeah. Once you pop her, you can't stop her. Let's see who the winners have been. Oh, yeah. It's such a great... Like, I want to do that. I want to do it once before I'm dead.
That just sounds like a fun time. Plus, $500, you go out there, destroy something, and...
Of course.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, if I were doing that, I would just get the shittiest, cheapest XJ Cherokee I could find and just four-wheel drive one.
Which would be indestructible.
Yeah, because I know how to work on them.
Yeah.
Something about short cows.
What do you got?
Low stakes.
All right, so we're bringing it back to North Carolina. This is a English barley wine aged in port barrels, done locally here in Charlotte by Noda.
Is it going to try to take us over?
Could be.
We don't
Noda, I love their IPAs. Their barrel program can be hit or miss. Can be.
Next up is the Honda Fit.
I love a Fit.
For good city transportation. I mean,
I had a friend of mine, he's still a friend of mine. I didn't have a friend of mine. He's still a friend of mine.
He's dead to Bryan.
He's dead.
You heard it here.
He autocrosses a Fit.
Oh, hell yes.
And absolutely dominates. Just fucking kills it.
Yeah, tiny car and rev the nuts off of it. Like, what's it going to do? Brake? No.
6-speed manual, 1.5 liter IV Tech with 6,800 RPM red line.
Yeah, in autocross, it handles, it demolishes.
Yeah.
The guy kills
You don't
it.
spin.
Nothing.
You could just point and go.
It's basically like a Miata hatchback.
The next one's bullshit. That is not underappreciated.
That's kind of how I'm treating the Scion now.
Yeah. WRX definitely not.
O2 the goggle eye one. That's arguably my favorite one.
That's not my favorite.
No, I don't like the way the bug eyes look, but it was possible to get cluster lights, something that looked different.
You could do retros pretty easily, yeah. My favorite was always, I think, the next one, which was the
0405.
Yeah, the blob eye is what they call it.
That was a good looking one too.
I always wanted one of those. I had one for a very short period of time.
My favorite of those is
but they're hard to get a hold of now.
My favorite of which is the Saab 92X.
The Subaru.
For sheer shits and giggles.
All right, Noda.
Cheers to Noda.
Yes.
Chad, Lens, all y'all up in there? What up?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Well, yes, let's.
I got a fun story about long appendages. So Mac didn't believe me because our friend Mac is like 6'4", and I'm right at 6 feet tall. We wear the same length of pants. That's all. I was like, my legs and arms are super long. He said, "What length of pants you wear?" I said, 34. He goes, "I do too." We can reach up and
waist
then
to waist.
And my arm is that. My hands are that much further up when I reach up. It's like I told you, I like Gumby when I'm naked. It's not a natural look.
Go on.
Go on.
Infinity FX45. That's not my favorite one.
I mean, honestly, I've never even heard anyone talk about.
Did you guys ever?
So maybe this is true.
A V8.
Did you guys ever play the computer game Mega Race?
Don't remember.
It was this futuristic car racing, combat racing game. This is the beginning of cars starting to look like stuff off that video game from 1993. Just giant wheels, giant bodies, this absurd stuff. And I always liked these, particularly the V6 ones with the BQs in them.
I like the 35. The 45, I don't like the front. The 35 front looks more aggressive.
To me, this is just boring as shit to me. It's just,
this is the beginning of everything looking the same.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this is like the template.
Yeah.
Like, during which you had the FX, the JX, the QX, and
the 35
then everything became
had a more
QX,
aggressive
different
front.
Number.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, the 35 was more aggressive.
But I've never been overly impressed with Infinity's styling anyway.
It's always been pretty subtle. They can all be the original J30 convertible that was a box on wheels.
Steve, you want to skip the next one?
Oh my god.
Yes.
There's a reason
it's
why.
Underappreciated. Because, I mean,
well, no, there's a reason Steve wants to skip it.
Does this strike you personally?
My ex had a non-red light eye on.
Bruce.
Yep.
He calls her Bruce because her name was Caitlin. Jenner.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
In a very spiteful way.
Have you ever seen the movie Armageddon?
Yeah.
She was a vicious, life-sucking bitch from which there is no escape.
No. I forced that escape. Like, by the turn of 2015, I figured things were going southward, so I placed the odds in my favor, by the way.
That's good.
That's the only time I've actively saw the demise of a thing.
What's next on the list is a car that's currently in the garage in the house that's right beside mine.
This car,
a Mercedes SLK,
the Crossfire.
What the
fucking
fuck?
Trash, dude.
Clarkson said it best. It looks like a dog that's squatting.
Seriously, I can't.
I've never liked them.
This is why I'm speaking in very general terms. This is why I'm not typically drawn to American cars. The styling on this is garbage. And if you go to drive that car, it's also garbage.
The SRT ones, though, were pretty fucking quick, but
they're fast, but they're garbage.
Yeah,
it's like it's like getting a neon SRT4. Yes, it's fast, but the door might fall off.
Yeah. Steve and I always joke that they should have taken the first gen Avenger and put the SRT.
Now the Avenger was sharp.
The first generation Avenger was a good looking car.
Yes.
Yeah.
But instead, they take anything that had any kind of styling or anything, and they dumbed it down.
Yep.
And you end up with the Crossfire, which is I just hate looking at it.
It's not a good one.
We had a 2012 Chrysler 200 roll through the day.
200?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Convertible.
Yuck.
Hardtop convertible.
Even
the
yucker.
Quintessential Michael Scott mobile from The Office.
I drive a Dodge Stratus.
It was not far off. It's like it was funny. It's like this thing has nav, so 8-year-old touchscreen, but the gauge cluster out of your Jeep.
I mean, nav from 2012. I mean, does it just have
all
big
pixels.
boy restaurants on it?
Pangea.
It's just Pangaea is the continent.
Guys, it's all pixels.
That's fantastic.
It's so funny.
It's like Minecraft. You're
like what are the
Minesweeper.
One of the things what I'm effectively playing at work is navigation whack-a-mole. Does the car have native navigation or not?
That became a
holy
big thing.
shit. Yeah. And your phone's going to do it better. Your phone will not require an active update.
Oh my
God.
It
will cost you
your phone
nothing.
Is instant.
Yeah.
Navigation's going to die away. It has to.
It's a lot of Android Auto, whatever have you. It's like, that's not what it wants. Therefore, navigation feature does not exist.
Right.
By the way,
actually having to select that on the things, it's been a very strange previous month.
I want you guys to know.
And all the 4 touchscreens look the same.
They do.
You turn them on.
Oh my God.
I want you guys to know that when I'm writing things down, I want to remember what to write about the descriptions of these episodes. And then the next day when I go to edit the episode, I look at it and I'm like, I don't remember talking about any of this fucking stuff.
Did you write down the phrase navigation whack-a-mole?
I wrote down Minesweeper Pangaea and Scratch and Sniff tattoos.
That's good. I like it.
Add nav whack-a-mole.
Nav whack-a-mole.
That's my existence now.
The NC1 Miata, I don't think any Miata has ever been underappreciated.
Yeah, I guess I can't speak to that specific.
My neighbor has
whatever an
one of those
NC1
too.
is, but
My neighbor has an NC1.
if I was to get, we talked about toys in the garage.
Yeah,
I would absolutely love to have a Miata.
I would want an NA. I would want first gen.
I just zip tied a sled to the railing of mine. Am I doing this wrong? It's nice to the bicycles that are rusted out and have flat tires.
I really think like having an NA Miata, like the first gen
I'll have
Miata,
an
would
attic,
be so,
so, like,
fun.
yeah.
It would be so slow, but you could rev it out and you wouldn't.
Man, you
spin
could
out.
just whip it around any curve and just tear it to pieces. And
Whoops.
Any hardcore muscle car guy who hates on them, just drive it one time. You'll understand.
well, they
It
only
is
hate
slow.
on it because of the reputation.
Yeah, it's
of
slow,
being
but
a
it's
chick
not-
car. But
Well, the thing, if you want to go all out speed, get a gutted Fox body, put the biggest V8
Sure.
you could find in it, but that's not what it's about. The
right,
Super's
there's
not
more
about
to driving than just straight line.
that. Yeah, the S2K wasn't about that. Like,
Yeah.
we could go on about
Which
that.
is funny when you talk about your friend going from his big monster Hellcat into an STI. He'll probably find the STI to be a much more fun driving experience.
Mhm.
It's really hard to beat a Subaru with the all-wheel drive. They
It
have
got
decent
weird.
power.
And then the other day, he rolled up in his mom's Solstice
Winter or summer?
convertible. So summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I could see that being a really
hard-
fun car too. The
Yeah.
It is, but when you have the convertible, here's the fun part. In the S2000, when you fold the soft top down, you still have a trunk. In the Solstice, if you fold the soft top down, the soft top goes into the trunk.
into the trunk.
There's nowhere to put anything. That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Trouble having a tiny car with a convertible top.
S2000 was. And it actually had a usable trunk. You could fit 2 sets of golf clubs in it. If that's your,
Oh.
thing.
No. I quit golfing in the 90s.
It's still fun.
Uh,
You've seen 10 Cup, right? Golf and sex are the 2 things you can do and have fun at and be horrible at.
It's true.
Pizza?
Yeah.
Pizza?
Beats 2. John Works Mini Cooper's next. I don't think that's underappreciated.
Specifically the 06, because that was the original redo of it.
I like
After
the-
which you still have the JCWs, but it's the newer ones that are less special. Like a good example of the original 02 to 06 is tough to come by. I had a family friend that had one, and thanks to a garage fire, lost it.
I don't think that's underappreciated, though.
At least rare.
Rare, but not underappreciated.
But the fact that
Yeah, I just think they're not
Still
that
look-
popular.
it still looks like a Mini Cooper.
What about the John Wicks GP? It's killer.
What about your dog?
Now we got the Tesla Roadster.
I mean,
Wow.
why is this even on?
Sweet
here?
Lowe's, bro.
It says under 2,500 examples. It might as well be under 25. I've never seen one.
Well, they're like $250,000. Underappreciated because they can't be afforded by normal people.
Yeah.
Outside of
Super limited, very expensive. Of
Car
course.
Show a long time ago, and it shares a name with the new thing that went to the moon or whatever that stunt was.
It just looks like somebody crashed an Elise into an Evora.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure
it-
they're great and they haul ass, but you never see
Probably.
one. No one even knows about them.
Nope.
And that was before Tesla made the Model S that
Correct.
became the bread and
Yeah,
butter.
that was before Tesla was really mainstream.
Yeah,
as they are
it was
now.
like, it's a thing.
I would rather murder 80 puppies than ever see the next car on the list.
Yep. I'm terribly sorry you're... Guys,
This is like
I am so sorry your MDX has too much room.
That is awful.
now we're just gonna make
That
it
was
an
the-
awkwardly big 4-door
Yeah.
No,
and destroy
no,
any lines
no,
or
It's
styling
ugly.
we have.
It's a ZDX
no,
Acura.
No. And that was before the M6 and the GLC Coupe.
Yeah,
Like,
coupe.
have you ever envied the blind this started it.
There is one in the neighborhood, actually.
A ZDX?
It's a way I don't go through the neighborhood, but it's down there, and it's actually silver. And
an Acura in silver just destroys it to me. I'm sorry.
Most cars, and as a man who's owned, well, the Civic was okay. A Civic's a Civic, but the S2000 in silver was okay, but it wasn't my first.
But it's
pick.
still an S2000. I mean, so it's still a recognizable.
It's more S2000 than we've had, man.
Yeah.
That does not.
An Acura to me in general is very frustrating. Because it's like they want to be performance, and I know they have the ability to.
They do.
And then they keep selling out and doing shit like this.
They don't have to. Like
that's people eat it up.
I
loved my RSX. I absolutely loved it.
It's such a great. I've driven an RSX.
And then I was like, okay, so moving on, I'd like to stay in the Acura family because I liked Acura.
Yeah.
Literally went in there was nothing for me.
There's nothing there.
2015,
like, what the fuck?
2015 was the last year of the ILX 6-speed.
Yeah.
The ILX just looked like a Civic Si.
Yeah, that too. But I've noticed those age worse than other Acuras.
Yeah,
maybe it's from neglect, but
model.
It's.
I just know Acura has the ability to make an exciting performance turbo.
I keep saying at work, like, I'm sorry you spent too much on your Civic.
I think they just don't have to. Like that's the
They
problem.
don't have to. They have no interest.
Yeah.
No.
Honda doesn't. Not really. I mean,
but they still do it. Toyota still does it.
Look at when Honda and when Honda Motor Company,
Nissan still does it. Infiniti still does it. They all do it.
Nissan kind of still. Well, Nissan
Lexus has kind of
updated the GTR or the GTR. They're starting to, but the 400Z that's coming out, they finally
at least like, hey, there's still a thing we could do here, right, guys? Right.
Mazda's the only car company that is dedicated to their. They've been dedicated to Miata since 1989.
Yeah. Subaru, I would still consider still dedicated. They still
true, but they didn't start in '89 with it.
Oh,
well,
true.
stateside. But the WR, the rally stuff's been around for.
But
a
as
while,
an enthusiast,
your
options are very, very limited.
Very limited. But the enthusiast market's dying, though. Unfortunately,
no, we're just getting older.
We're a dying. I think we're a dying breed. Like
I think so too. Honestly,
especially me and Steve. Me and Steve are really diehard manual transmission enthusiasts. But
which I'm not. You guys are elitist. I'm not. I'm not a manual elitist.
Well, for what it's worth, you're at least getting interesting cars, so there's no fault in that.
Right? Yeah.
I want to have interesting cars, but I'm lazy.
You went from RCF.
It's your only car, though.
You went from an RCF to a Supra, so.
Yeah. And if I did get a toy for the garage, it would absolutely be a manual.
It'd be such like I think the future really
preferably
is
right-hand drive.
The future, the future is electric or hydrogen. The future's that, but I think that the toys for the weekend will still be gas-powered vehicles. Gas-powered vehicles aren't going anywhere because there's not the infrastructure in place for electric car. If you wanted to drive from here, if you're moving to Florida,
just go into Florida.
Could you imagine?
It's 360 miles. I can't make it.
No, not in a day.
Right.
Probably not in 2 days.
Yeah. To me, that's unacceptable. I mean,
right now
to me, that's not until the technology catches up with what people are actually doing. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be allowed to happen. And you can see the secondary market of some of these cars. And I go back to the Supra because I know that market. There is a thirst out there for a performance car and brand. And that's why these older performance cars that we talk about are only getting higher and higher in value. And it's because our generation's growing up, they're making more money, whatever. And you're probably correct. The guys younger than us, they're not interested.
No, not really. I mean, they either move to the city and don't need a car, or they live with their parents until they're. I got a part-timer now. He's 26. He still lives with his parents. He drives a Corolla. I mean,
and
he's like.
And is there a more soul-crushing thing than a Corolla?
No. And he's the nicest
This is the
guy.
This is the guy that says, "I literally give zero shits about a car."
Well, yeah. Well,
for it's worth, like by proxy, my car is a Corolla, but at least they had it gussed up a bit.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of like the more basic Corollas, like. This really makes me like mine better. Yeah. Or better yet, the Yaris. Holy
But Toyota's even doing cool shit with they have the Yaris GR. Have you heard about that? Fucker?
Yeah,
that's
which
a
they won't be
good-looking
selling
car.
here, but
we're gonna get the Corolla GR.
Is it
So
4 or
Yeah.
2-door?
yeah,
4-door.
the Yaris GR, if I recall correctly,
two.
is a 3-cylinder, 250 horsepower turbo.
Yeah,
in
like super
something the
super
size of this
fun.
table.
Yeah.
And
look up the Corolla GR.
all sources say it's amazing.
I still say Fiat Punto Abarth.
I wouldn't kick a 500 Abarth out of my garage. However,
to
Punto's
me,
a
that
better-
seems like that'd be a fun
that
car to drive.
Punto's
which
a better
cracked me
looking
up
car.
discovering that some Jeep Renegades and Dodge Darts have that engine, the Angry Egg Beater.
Do they really?
Yeah, and that 1.4 liter turbo. Like hearing them make that noise, like, oh, I know what that is.
I like that.
That's
I don't
pretty awesome.
trust
Yeah.
it, but I like
The Punto
that it's a
Abarth.
thing. Sweet or no?
But it's 2-door and it doesn't really.
You know, I like the fact that I've got 5 doors on my car.
I could have gotten behind a
basically,
CTSV wagon, but
that's journalist tax there. That's still a $60,000 dumb Corvette thing.
yeah, I can't go anywhere in
I
that.
want that there. Can or won't.
By the way, next up was the car that the wife of the guy who bought my TSX had when he picked up my TSX.
Wow. I had a tech at old job that had one. This is a hybrid.
You remember it?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh, you got it
the
up there.
CRZ.
Yeah. What do you think about the CRZ, Brian?
This thing's now at 20%.
Maybe a little bit before
Like I
its
said,
time.
it's tired.
I like the way it looks.
Yeah.
Guys.
It always made me like twice.
Guys, stick hybrid.
Yeah, stick hybrid.
It was that and the concurrent Civic hybrid could be had with a manual too.
Yes.
That and the original Insight, nothing else could claim that.
I like the Insight.
The thing is, if they re-release this now, they might actually have better success.
I think so. It was a little bit before its time.
Yeah, before hybrids really
It was like a hybrid
took
CRX.
hold.
Yeah.
It's a good looking car.
It totally looked the part.
Next up, I'm not even dignifying that with a response.
Juke.
Whatever.
It's Nissan.
What's the
taking
yogurt shop?
a chance.
Sweet Frog, yo.
Yeah. Next up, one of my favorites,
Evora,
the
totally.
modern day NSX.
I mean, to me, that's a beautiful car.
It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous.
And I considered it before I did what I did, but something about
Wait, those things are only about $30,000.
All right, so a
Or they
good
were?
example is about 40.
Okay,
But the clutch job in that is $9,000 because you have to drop the engine to get. It's a 4-seater car. It's a 4-seater mid-engine.
that's a 4-seater.
Yeah, there's rear seats.
I mean, why? Why even put 4 seats?
It's
in
stupid
Dude,
because
that's as much a 4-seater car as my car is a 4-seater car. Don't.
No, it's worse.
Like, there's
I'm
just-
6 feet tall and in a comfortable position. I've sat in one. The back seat or the back of the front seat is touching.
Right.
Was that the weirdest Cars and Coffee ever to encounter this?
I sat in
Just-
that and the Viper ACR because
Oh, at
I'm
least the
cross shopping a bunch of weird shit.
At least the Viper ACR does not have a back seat.
Not
to
with that
suffer.
attitude. I love those cars, but they're
You feel
Toyota
like they're
engine. The thing is,
sorta-
it's reliable, but when you need to do a clutch or anything, all right. So in that car, it's $9,000, and the NSX, the original NSX, $1,200.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and I'd rather have an NSX, even though those are great. The Evora 400 is stupid fucking quick, but I'd rather have an NSX.
Yeah.
Well, this is right up your alley, Mr. Leighton. Next
yeah,
up,
I almost got one too when I got rid of my RCF. I almost got one. I looked at them.
Have you ever had a V8?
My
LC
RCF
500
was, yeah.
What's up?
My RCF was.
It was a
5-liter V8.
5-liter.
Yeah. So this is the LC 500. Absolutely gorgeous car. I think probably why it's on this list is it crosses that 6-figure mark of 100,000, which puts it
a bit unobtainium for
it puts it
plebeians.
unattainable for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people don't even know exist, or would even take the time to go look at it. But it is really just a gorgeous inside and out.
To me, if you wanted a really good grand touring,
this is it.
Luxury and you didn't want an Aston Martin for the depreciation and the unreliability.
Yeah.
You couldn't do any worse than that. Yeah.
I mean, this is Toyota reliability.
But the ass inside the stick shift.
Again, yes, super refined on the inside. I mean, the car is absolutely beautiful.
Lexus probably does the best Japanese interiors.
Yeah.
Bar none.
Yeah. I can't argue with that at all.
No. And you've owned, that's the end of that list.
Yeah.
That's for the most part, that was actually a pretty good list. I mean,
yeah, I can agree with a lot of those.
Yeah, some of those weren't some of them are actually. I think the Evora is underappreciated. A lot of those cars are underappreciated.
Yeah, and a lot of that is just
the
exposure, right? So how many people have seen a Lotus Evora? Maybe
the
not
Evora,
even.
Emily loved it when she saw it.
Yeah, the Evora is a better car, but the
gorgeous.
Elise, being the less expensive car, people will see more of them, and part of its demise is this thing is going to kill your kidneys.
Oh, right.
What'd your dad say? Sport seats for
sport butts. Which is about what he said driving my car back from Atlanta.
Oh, you let him drive it?
I got exhausted because I drove the whole way down to Atlanta. I drove to about the South Carolina line and then let him take the helm.
Gotcha.
Hey, the man taught me.
Oh.
So, yeah. And then getting off the exit for Albemarle Road, just gunning it on normal city street.
Yeah,
he had a hoot doing that. It's this is why I like doing this. I don't want to do this all the time, but this is fun. This is pre-mods.
So Brian doesn't know this story. My mom and dad met because my dad, after his second divorce, was at the street races in Norwood, and his Dodge Dart Swinger with a was a 360 with four deuces, two 4-barrel carburetors, and they met at the illegal street races, and now they're still married. That's how my mom and dad met.
That's fun.
And that was after his second divorce. Do we have time to do the 50 of the worst metal band names ever?
That sounds like it'd be quicker.
It's pretty quick.
We shan't have anecdotes on that. Is that also off Fluffy Pro or whatever?
No, louderthanwar.com. I don't even know what that is. I still have a little bit of beer from the 420. So
what is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
By the way, the 420 strain with the mango pot is great.
That's what it needed this whole time.
Yes. Because I'm not a huge fan of the way pot tastes, but I am with that. First up, Aborted Hitler Cock.
Dear God.
It's a gore grind band based in London. Still active. They have released an album this year called Erections at an Animal Autopsy.
I can't even comment on that. It's absurd.
And an EP called Necropediatrician. That's great. Number 2, Anal Blast.
That's not so bad. That's not so bad to me.
But number 2,
when you're following up Aborted Hitler Cock,
yeah.
is anything that, yeah.
Number 3 is Anal Vomit. That's even better.
Okay.
Also called Diarrhea.
Diarrhea. Right.
It's not anal cunt. Anal cunt.
Anal cunt's on there.
XCX.
Anal cunt is in the honorable mention, as is cripples with cancer. God. But you got ass pounder for number 4, and that's funny but not memorable. But number 5 is bathtub shitter.
I really like bathtub shitter because it's right. So Aborted Hitler Cock or whatever is obviously an attempt to be as terrible as you can come up with. Where bathtub shitter is actually very understated. I like it.
Somebody read number 6 for me.
Broken Penis Orchestra.
Broken Penis Orchestra.
from Edmonds, Washington.
Once you get outside of Seattle, things get strange there.
And they're from Psycho Records, included a single called "On the Brink of a Wet Dream." Cheap knob gags.
Cheap knob gags.
95. That's good. Number 8.
Too straightforward. The child molesters.
It's a little. It's too on the nose.
You got to be too. Yeah, you got to.
Formed in 1977, so proof that being tasteless knows no age.
I like the EPs, including "Surfing with the Child Molesters."
Oh,
like you said, it's too on the nose.
Number 9.
The Clits. I like it.
But
sounds like it's like a punk band.
A lot of people couldn't find it though.
From Portugal.
Jesus
if that
Christ.
makes like a difference.
I know no Portuguese.
No.
There's actually 3 different bands called the Clits. If you guys, so there's
Holy
the Clits,
shit.
then Portugal, and there's the Clits from Australia.
Huh.
I'm assuming is Clit a universal term that means the same in all countries, or in Portuguese is it a different?
I guess.
I would imagine so.
I've never looked up clit in other languages.
Number 10 is too on the nose.
Well, it might not be.
Cock and ball torture.
Well, look, is it cock and ball torture, or is it like the band and then the band? It's the band name. There's the guy named Cock, and then the band name is Ball Torture. It's like Cock and Ball Torture.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's grindcore.
He was initially called Richard, so it was going to be Dick and Ball Torture, but we decided to change it up a bit.
Oh, number 11 is great.
I think that to me that's a good one.
The cum shots.
Cum shots. It's like the Strokes.
Well,
Hey,
if they
only
ever
listen
like a
to the
punk
first
band.
3 albums from them.
Well, if they tour together, wouldn't the Strokes have to always
Come
open?
first? The Strokes followed by the cum shots. That's fantastic.
How? Right in the kisser.
Followed by the awkward egress. The cunts.
I mean, that's again. I mean,
Usually referred to as the C asterisk NTS.
Look at that. Their final single being Penguins Addicted to Molasses 1981.
It's a good year. Courtesy of Disturbing Records.
I like this next one. Read it. Evil Edna's Horror Toilet. See, I feel like that's got like too much real life. Like that came from somewhere. Like someone's Aunt Edna's, or like that came from that. There's a story behind that I don't want to hear.
A synth space rock outfit.
Not as blatantly offensive as the other within the list, but can you really see yourself wearing a t-shirt bearing this moniker?
Evil Edna's Heart.
I like it.
They released the 1986 self-released cassette, Too Much Gristle, in the Blancmage.
What is a blanc mod? White something. It's French, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't want to know.
Fanny Bloom.
I mean, after the other names, Fanny Bloom's pretty elementary, right?
Yeah.
They say Fannie Mae awful funny.
There's fuck.
Duh.
Is that like...
They can't all be the band Holy Fuck, and that's a completely different thing.
Guys, I'm going to guarantee we never get famous because I'm going to name the band Fuck. So that's impossible.
Oh, have you heard about the band Death and not the metal band, like the proto-punk band? It sounds like faster Jimi Hendrix. They're amazing.
But there's corpse fucking art with 3 albums. Fuck I'm Dead with 2 albums. Fuck Off and Die with 3 albums. Fuck Shit Up from Russia. The Fucking Machines.
I'm assuming this is all grindcore, right? It's all just screaming and...
Jesus fucking Christ
Thrash
managed
metal.
with their self-titled album. 2006. New York-based Piss Shit Fuck clearly thought fuck wasn't enough. They only released one album.
Shocking.
Somebody was listening to George Carlin back in the day.
That's enough fuck. Number 15 is Fist Fuck.
Oh, we have a lot of fuck left. If
We
you're
got
looking down the list.
That's a lot of fucking down the list.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? 17. Fuck the retarded girl. I mean,
From Australia. From Kyle Dennis.
Kyle. Classic Kyle.
Hey, fuck.
18. The gay.
The gay.
Accordion-based girly pop from Vancouver. Now, I would have never guessed that. What the fuck does
wow.
that mean?
The gay. The gay. Wait, it featured an album or track called Robert Smith from fucking, what, The Cure?
Yep.
The gay. Hitler SS.
Yeah, 19 sucks. That's number 20 though. Was
Well,
fantastic.
they had an album called
Stutzensaffel.
Tampax.
It wasn't Stutzensaffel. It was, oddly enough, Hitler Super Sport.
Read the next one.
No, 20 is fantastic.
Hot buttered anal.
Hot buttered anal.
From Rhode Island. So hardcore.
4-piece punk band from Rhode Island, USA.
I've given but
A
never
solitary
received
album
anal.
release.
One
And
album.
It's
Please
never
Kill
been.
Me in 06.
It's never been buttered.
Surely right for a reissue.
Yeah. One album in 2006.
I wonder why.
Shocking.
Howling Willy Cunt. HWC.
22 is pretty on the nose, literally.
Steve, what's 22?
Nice shot in your face.
Probably
Now
a jazz band, right?
that would be on a t-shirt.
That shit on your
Name chosen by a Brazilian gore band
Gore.
who sometimes
band.
go by the equally consumer-friendly moniker IXSXOXYXF have released at least 3 albums and numerous EPs, all of which have a fascination with feces.
Read 23. Read 23.
See, I like that one. That's clever. There's some cleverness there. I like 23.
Oh, Cairo.
Kiss the anus of a black cat. Or as we call him, Cabka.
No, we don't.
Their most recent album called Well Tantra
Holy fuck, is that a
Gangsta.
word?
I guess that's German.
If there are no midget handjob,
Midget Handjob is actually great.
don't get short with me.
Well, is the handjob short or is the length of time of the handjob short?
Depends on how good he is, I guess.
Well, as Joe Rogan would say, receiving even the best handjob is like somebody trying to brush your teeth with their opposite hand. It's not that great.
Not to brag, but I'm kind of an expert, so you're not going to compete with me.
This only makes Billy Joel's own The Stranger all the funnier.
Oh, number 26 is great.
Natalie Portman's shaved head.
Well, 25, nah.
Yeah, 25 's
Fighter
lame.
666, nah.
Yeah, that's like, we want to be hardcore. But we're
Yeah.
not.
There are no Davila 666,
Yeah.
which is all like Spanish amazingness. Once
Nazi
again,
UFO commander.
There's a lot of Nazi guys. Nazi UFO commander, Nazis from Mars.
That's even better. 29.
neurotic
arseholes.
arseholes.
I like that one.
There's got to be Scott. Oh, German.
Perhaps a sign that Germans do have a sense of humor. Yeah, it's called the BMW X6.
Yeah. The nun fuckers.
I like how it's one word.
Oh my. Oh, 31's a bit much.
Wouldn't it be called
From Canada, too.
Well, 30 would be the god, wouldn't it? Technically.
Yeah.
If you're married to God, certainly God would be fucking all the nuns.
He'll have none of it.
Nice.
I'll let Steve
Para-
do 31.
Paracoxidoi. Paracoxidoi. Domicus.
Curatosis?
Mexican gore band.
Mexican gore band.
Jesus.
Bulgaria is so much easier.
See, and then 30. So
32.
You have you have
fucking
like
wins.
You have like Monster 666. You're like, okay, we get it. You're a hardcore guy. Then they're like 32 is like penis flytrap. It's like that's what I'm talking about.
I gotta say, I'm upset. I never thought of this band name.
That's easily the best one.
Yeah. No, it's Pin 15 Flytrap. Would you like to join the Pin 15 Flytrap Club?
Penis flytrap.
One album, Dismemberment, in 2003.
Steve and I discovered a punk band, I think from England, called Threetard.
That's on par with me just simply saying Tardigan.
Yes. Tardigrade?
It's a dumb sweater.
Pissing razors,
that
I'm okay
sounds
with that.
painful. But I like 34.
I like 34. It's simple. Poo.
Poo.
Poo. Fluorescent in 2000. Czech. They're Czech. But it's a Slovenian. Oh, it's a Czech label. Oh.
Therefore, no, they're not, because you're thinking Slovakian.
Yes. Premature Ejaculation, 35.
Yeah.
Their albums always come out too early.
Whack.
36 a little wild. I like 36.
36 is not bad.
Priest and shit.
And noise metal. Have you ever heard noise metal? It's exactly what it sounds like.
I mean, isn't all metal noise basically?
No.
This
no.
is really noise metal.
This is really noise metal.
I think 37 is pretty good.
37 is not bad.
Rainbow Butt Monkeys.
I like the album name, Letters from Chutney.
What's up, Indian fruit salsa?
Satan's almighty penis.
That's good. Oh, 39's great.
I like it. I like it's one word too.
Scrotum grinder.
All one word. Screw.
Florida based. Look out. Florida man.
Hey.
Oh, shit.
What's the over-under there from Gainesville? Because that also gave us Limp Bizkit.
You leave Limp Bizkit out of this.
By the way, the
You
guitar
and what
player.
red hat before that was a terrifying thing.
I was actually Fred Durst one year for Halloween. It worked out well.
Also,
In college, when I had a goatee and stuff, it was great.
the guitar player, Wes Borland,
Yeah,
is a fucking awesome guitar player.
absolutely.
It's unfortunate he was in Limp Bizkit.
I was
He
always
gets
fascinated
overshadowed
by
by
his
Durst, but-
gigantic contacts. Like his eyes are blacked out.
I
man.
always liked that
So cool looking.
I always like that look. Selfish cunt. Post-punk, not bunk.
Post
This is
spunk.
not a bed.
Post spunk is the bands that happen after 41.
But the Surf Wankers?
I'm skipping down. I'm already at 43, and 43 is a good one.
Syphilic vaginas.
Syphilitic vaginas.
That's amazing.
That's curable, and I cannot read the characterization there.
Well, as a
Baidoko Benko.
3-piece thrash metal from Japan. I didn't even know Japan had thrash metal.
shit. Have you seen Baby Metal?
Have you seen the names in this band? Masuru, Iron Bitch, Yasuke, Flamethrower,
Like Yusuke
Maruko,
Flamethrower
Outlaw.
on drums.
Haruko Outlaw. It's always like a Japanese name followed by like a hard ass American name.
This sounds like if you're
Satanic
listening to
masturbation.
Spanish baseball. Tom Jones.
Wait, they were signed to a,
Unusual to be.
they were signed to a Texas-based record label.
That doesn't surprise.
As you do.
Hence comes, I guess that's where Outlaw comes from and Flamethrower. They're like, we need to give you guys new names.
Where is
And their first album is called Satanic Masturbation.
where is Yamamoto Republican in this band? The Toilet Boys from New York. Miss Guy. Electric Eddie. Rock Adam Vomit.
Adam Vomit.
That's a great name. That's a great name.
Well, they can't all be the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza. Hold me closer, Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza.
That's amazing.
I can appreciate that one. I like Tony.
Two dead sluts, one good fuck.
Right.
Virgin snatch.
That's what
Had that
happens when
before.
you steal one of Branson's airplanes.
Get wank.
You got a couple wanks, and you got the wankers.
I could go for a couple wanks.
A couple wanks.
Wait, it was the top 50 and it only listed 49. Oh, the 50. Okay.
We had a couple repeats, but
It
doesn't surprise me that most of these guys had like one album released.
So before we leave, there's a band called Rumpelstiltskin Grinder. And there's a song called Buried in the Front Yard, Grab a Shovel, parentheses, we've got bodies to bury. And here's the lyrics. Wake now, right now. Waking to see the mass at hand. Bodies thrown all across the floor. Hours before the shipment's due. Figure out what you're going to do. Grab and cut, cut bone. Tear and saw, bodies to pieces. Buried in the front yard, not the back, not the backyard. This is amazing. I love horrible metal. Steve, you look dumb-stricken.
I'm aware of your affinity for such filth, but just more puzzled look.
Well, 10 dumbest and therefore best metal band names of the millennium. There's even more. There's so many fucking horrible band names. I think the best one I saw was Captain Artichoke and the Electric Sex Aardvarks. Killatorius. Couch Slut. Oh, there's Tony Danza
Honorable
again.
mention from the comments, John Cougar concentration camp.
Oh, nice. Vaginal penetration with a musty carrot.
Pol Pot Parade.
Preschool Tea Party Massacre.
Oh my god.
We butter the bread with butter. It's a band name. Destiny Potato.
Cumlings.
Cumlings is good.
Nipple erectors.
That's pretty good.
Bastard cunt.
God damn, we've been doing this for 3.5 hours. See how much fun being stupid is?
My team, maggot twat.
Maggot twat?
I fucked a train. It's an absolute classic.
I fucked
The
a
comment,
train.
no, I fucked a train. The comment section on this article is fantastic, by the way.
Dogs die in hot cars.
Oh,
It's true.
I know, but anything involving animals, I'm like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah. People
Like preschool tea party massacre, what he just said. I'm like, that's pretty fucked up.
confrontation camp.
The band Fetus with an O. I've heard this. It sounds very
Fetus
big
with an
band.
O. How do you
Would that be Foetus or
Foetus. You got fetus under breath and scraping Foetus off the wheel. I have heard this.
Fetus, take the wheel. Take it from my hand.
Not now, Michael McDonald.
Take it from my hand. Oh, I hope Emily can't hear any of this.
She's like, you guys are
Sperm swap from cyber porno gore grind.
cyber porno.
Fairly
gore grind. What
certain
does that
Andy
even mean?
Five told about an Aussie band
That was
called
the
Dig Up
genre.
and Fuck 'em. Not sure what genre they were.
Dicky Retardo. Porky vagina.
Ghosts don't shave.
There's a boarded Hitler cock again. That's fantastic.
Pains of being pure at heart. Guns and Wankas.
Here's a
Jesus of Spazrin.
Here's a German brutal death metal band called 011011110.
Like binary? What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Nottingham's Bunsnugger.
Bunsnugger?
Bumsnugger.
No.
Can't pronounce.
I like Bumsnugger. That's pretty
The aborted Jesus milkshakes.
Ew.
Who decides this?
Pissed jeans.
It's like if you played like a Facebook. Pissed jeans is. I like that one.
Teddy bear autopsy.
Fucking shit. Preteen pussy pounder.
God.
Rectal smegma. Newt dick. Cat shit. Toad turd massacre.
Holy shit, guys!
Rim job.
There's a what's your metal band name? It's your birth month.
That's what I feel like these people did to get these fucking names. Like a Facebook.
Yours was October what?
October 27th.
27th of
the bloody dildos.
I'll say October. So
yeah,
you are. Oh Jesus Christ! Why is this so hard to read? Because I'm fucking old. First initial of your first name.
Yeah.
So you are.
Goat.
What day did you say?
27th.
You are you are brutal bastard massacre. Steve's 24th. 6th. Steve, you are Steve's bloody shit cunt discharge. Oh my God, I am decaying anal Satan.
But as ridiculous, that's what these people did to get
I
their
know.
names. Like, it's the same
I know.
genre.
You know, I searched high and low trying to find satanic chicken fuckers as the band.
Yeah. Emily's
No,
is
I
better.
I think I got hosed.
Emily's is the best. Hers is iron erection machine.
I like it.
God knows.
What's so funny? It's simply how stuff got built back in the 30s.
That I think that's it for today.
We'll end that on a high note.
That's generous. 75. We have done 75 episodes of this.
That's pretty amazing that you guys have done that. I've only done 3, so I'm one out of every 25. So you guys do a lot.
That's actually true.
Yeah,
You've done one.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
33rd of every episode.
That's it.
Well, we're glad to have you.
That makes him a record breaker.
It's always an open invitation.
Of course.
Anytime you want to join, let us know.
No, I've really enjoyed it.
It's fun every time.
Yeah, we've done 3.5 hours.
Us, you here too.
Oh,
Good
of course.
is.
Yeah.
Well, anybody got any parting words for the adoring audiences?
Want to have your pet spayed or neutered? I don't know.
No, Bob Barker.
The price is wrong.
Wear your mask.
Yes, please do wear your mask.
So we can get back to work.
Yes. So another brewmaster's
do a
father doesn't
thing.
die.
Yeah, seriously.
Ugh.
It's ugly.
Yes.
Oh wait, these are brand new. I should watch them first. Whoops.
Brand new the band or
No, the except for the maroon one.
wait,
How does it get turned around so fast? I'm doing this wrong.
you like Danny Trejo?
I'll allow it.
All right.
Runaway Train, his early movie career.
Runaway Trejo never coming back.
Oh.
Bad movies and he makes more money than I do.
Dude, Machete rules. Shut up.
Machete.
This thing is now down to 5%.
Ooh, you're dead on.
All right. Later, guys.
That's it. Bye.
Like, if it,
Bye.
tired.
Bye.
What?